almost unlimited choice. You can buy 100 different types of cereals.
All made from the same stuff with different graphics on the outside.
All corn. It's basically just a bunch of boxes of corn.
That's capitalism.
It actually treats about 1% of the population like humans, and the rest of us like tools for those superhumans. You don't have any money, your bank account's low? I know where the money is. Jeff Bezos has it, the Waltons have it.
And they took it from us, right?
They took it from us.
We're just getting our money back.
Yeah, your work made that money. You deserve that money. That's your money. The 1% has never decided to do the right thing. That's why we have to take power and just spread it out among the 100% of people that exist.
Before we commence expelling this ghost from this location, before we save Jake from the lock, I will light the ceremonial herb that will give us the sight, that will give us the power we need to set Jake free. My Twitter's not working out here. Let's see if you can get a ghost. Go ahead and try. I summon the ghost into ghostly ghostness. Come the fuck out if you're a real ghost. Now. Demand it.
This is how we fucking hunt ghosts. And as we've pointed out, and as we've said, there are no ghosts.
So this is where the ghost lives, from what we know. And he's not home. Let me see, let me try this. Jake, you may overtake my body. I accept you into my heart and soul. Please, if you are here, take control of me. Use me as a vessel.
Gross.
Nothing.
Yeah, no ghosts. So I guess the lesson of Beaver Creek is there's no such thing as ghosts, there's no God, and the Bible is a lie. Off to Helltown to find out what the government's up to in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio. Hell yeah, bumping out here. Can I get some of this safety herb in my lungs, please? And thank you, are welcome here. Jake, you can't have any because they drug test.
Yeah, if you go to work, man, you're gonna get drug tested.
Jake, you son of a bitch! You get out here! Hey, Jake! Ain't coming. He ain't coming because he's afraid of me, Brian Quinby from Street Fight Radio. Brett, would you like a shot at Jake?
Yeah.
I just fell in a hole. That was Jake. That was all Jake.
I think we
Jake
found
do
the
that?
ghost. Jake won't let you see your mention. He's like, don't look at your phone while you're at work, motherfucker.
Polite
It's
about
just
it.
not the polite way to have
Yeah.
sex.
That's just
I-
there's
I-
really one way to have sex
gonna-
that's polite, and it's to say, ma'am, or sir, or non-binary person, would you like to enjoy some making love with me? And then if they answer yes, then you mount that person and you move back and forth politely, and then you kind of finish it up and you say that was great, and then you never mention it again. That's the right way to have sex, okay?
And folks, and that's why we don't do any sort of sex advice or sex stuff on this show, because there's none to be given.
I am
From-
wise.
I want you to write the polite sex book, like the proper polite method.
I just said it.
How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do they do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that. And that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings, shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. How much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make a sandwich. Every new level of hierarchy is more money coming out of your paycheck. Unions are fucking great because it's not HR.
You need solidarity with the other workers. We need to use that and exercise that. You and your other workers are the most important people at that company. I mean, hell, the way I think about it, maybe you don't get a union at all and you just take the whole company away from the bosses, and that's called a co-op.
For the almighty dollar, everyone's a slave. Cause what's the point of doing shit if you ain't getting paid? Ay.
Oh my God, have you heard the news? Kids are dying of kratom.
That's not true.
They're injecting it into their veins.
I don't think that's happening.
An ABC Action News exclusive. A mom says a popular herb killed her son.
The most recent death happened in early June. Kratom, also known as metrogenine, was one of 4 drugs blamed for his death.
This was like the devil's drug.
It really is just a green powder that makes people feel better.
Yeah, it's a leaf. It grows from the ground, you smash it up, you make a tea out of it, you throw it down the back of your throat, you eat some capsules, and you feel better, your mind's clear. And most people that use kratom don't have access to healthcare or prescriptions or any of that regular medicine stuff. They get it from local stores or online.
Let's do an example here. You're a young person, you don't understand how all this works, so let me explain this to you. When you get hurt in your older age, let's say you're 34, you work on a roof, you fall off and you crush your fucking heel, right? It's all shattered. The
Can't stop.
Can I hear it? I hear it. Are you putting on your
Hey everybody, welcome to Street Fight. There it is. Hey everybody, welcome to Street Fight Radio. We had a little bit of a misfire there, but we're locked in now, loaded and ready to go for another call-in show. It's Sunday night, time for a motherfucking street fight. Are you ready for it? That number to dial is 614-655-3887. We want to hear what you have to say. Share your stories. Let us know what's going on in the streets, wherever you're located, anywhere on this flat earth. We are the #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. We do it on WCRS here out of Columbus, Ohio, and all over the world as a podcast. So wherever you're at, thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting what we do. And it's all about making this a bigger and better thing, spreading this mess across the U.S., as we like to say. For those of you just jumping into the radical lifestyle, get comfortable because we have a lot more to go. And we're happy to have you with us. It's time to be in the streets. It's time to actually show them those streets belong to us and let them know it. Not let them think that they're leasing them to us. So if you're down to clown around downtown, please do that shit. Keep up the good fight, everyone in the streets, and let's get this call-in show going. My name is Brett Payne. My co-host is Brian Quinby. We're Street Fight Radio.
The show by Feedies. That's the kind of fucking shit you get if you pay attention when the show's live. I'm trying to build those numbers.
That's true.
You know,
on the
just
live,
show my feet.
You can watch the show by going to Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube, and chat along with people as they talk.
I'm universally known as a guy with great feet too. Remember, I had 2 professional sex workers tell me that I had feet that were worth $40 for a picture. So
yeah.
You know,
I mean, and also those feet have been living in a humidor called a Red Wing boot for a very long time. They've been wrapped up very tight and have been kept safe. They've been mint in package.
I've been saying lately that probably the last 40% of street fights have been done by me barefoot.
It's a new time.
Well, I fucking walking a lot more. Like my 7-day average right now. I should look it up, but like my 7-day average usually around 20,000. I try to keep it.
Okay, 20,000 steps in one single day.
And yeah, but through the week, right? Like so, there would be a day or two where I would get 15,000, 16,000.
Sure.
But then there would be days I get 26,000, 27,000. I like to be above 20,000 on that 7-day average, and my 7-day average right now is 38,676.
You've been a lot of walking.
So the dogs, I just gotta get the dogs out. But today I didn't go to the protest. Too much noise. You know what? I can only spend so many days. You know what? I am an Ohio country boy. Okay.
Okay.
Rural cowboy country boy from Ohio.
Uh-huh.
And
grew up on milk straight from the teat.
Yes. I know.
Unpasteurized bullshit.
Yeah, just, a cowboy country boy is quiet. Me and my pa used to stare at the stars every night.
Cut you an apple.
Yeah.
With his pocket knife.
Yeah,
and slice off.
And the protests, while are very inspiring to me, it's a lot of people honking their horns and revving their motorcycle engines and yelling and chanting and singing. It's a very beautiful thing. This is not me complaining, but it is like, even when I take walks, I take partially because I have to charge, but they only take like 15 minutes to charge. I take my AirPods out of my ears sometimes, even when I walk, just for the quiet, time to think,
Yeah, that's smart.
And I couldn't do it today. I just was like, it's so loud there. I just want to go be quiet. I went and sat by some water.
Wow, just a babbling brook?
No, ignorantly. I keep saying I went and sat by some water. Now, I could have sat by so much water in this whole city. I sat under 2 highway bridges. It was not quiet at all.
Where at?
I was walking the Scioto Mile, and I got to these 2 highway bridges that run over the trail, and there was water, and that's as close as you can really get to the water there, because there's
Yeah.
So whenever I get really overwhelmed, I just sit by water, and it doesn't work, and it's brown water, and it's gross, and everything like that, and then it also smelled a little bit like doo-doo down there, or mayonnaise and doo-doo is what it usually smells like. I don't know if, what I think about Columbus, Ohio is, it's Midwestern, so, we pump doo-doo water into the river, but since it's Midwestern, we make it smell like mayonnaise. We have a mayonnaise sort of air freshener quality into the water. So it's see, it doesn't smell bad. It smells like mayonnaise.
Probably just any overstocked mayonnaise goes into the water.
I just don't know why it smells like mayonnaise. I don't.
Why? Because it's fat. Because there's a bunch of fat fat bubbles in there. People are like frying up a whole catfish and then throwing it down the sink.
Is that like remember when I was making a lot of meat? When I was making a ton of meat, I would like you have to get the oil in it, and every time I had oil left over from making something, I didn't know what to do with it, so I just dumped it in the alley. I would walk out to my alley and just dump it on the ground and be like,
makes sense.
I don't have to do anything with it now.
It's a localized issue now. I have to deal with it. I have to be reminded of it.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's not just me, it's the neighbors' problem now too, the people behind me and the people next to me and stuff like that. Like, let's all work together to solve my oil problem.
Remember? Well, I think the streets of London were clogged by that like giant fatberg or something they called it, which was like globs of grease and baby wipes that don't break down, that people flush even though they don't fucking break down.
They tell you they do, though, dude.
Not on all of them.
90% of the
no, they don't.
say flushable.
I had a baby before you, dog.
But I
started a baby most recently.
They say flushable on, because I bought some during the first part of COVID, because I was like, well, I guess for safety's sake, I'll buy these flushable boys. And I got them home, and my wife was like, those aren't flushable. I was like, it says flushable right on the fucking package. And she was like, they're not flushable. And then I logged online and I looked it up, and the motherfuckers weren't flushable, even though it said flushable.
Right. But they're still, the thing about it is that you can buy them for a penny if they're not flushable. They charge you 10 cents for the flushable ones, and then they're not even flushable.
Yeah. Yeah, none of them are flushable.
Right, but the majority, but they do, at least they are honest about some of them. Like, do not flush these. On the cheap ones, they definitely say these are not
some
flushable.
Of them. Yes. No, I agree. The ones that you buy for specifically when you have a baby and you're broke as fuck.
Yeah.
Those ones do say not to flush. I flushed them. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was not the same person I am now when Gwen was born. But when COVID happened and you couldn't get toilet paper, I went to the store and they had flushable wipes, and my family refuses to use the bidet. So, it's so weird. It's
too American? You're living with a bunch of American patriots.
I guess they're just like, I don't care about doo-doo on my butt. I don't, it's fine. I'll take a shower at the end of the day. I'm like, well, why not have a clean butt after, Who knows when they crap, though? That's the thing. I don't want to talk shit about them because they could crap before shower time.
Patriarchy requires them to have some sort of weird ritual that we'll never find out when they do it.
I crap in the morning when I get up, and I don't like to take a shower before I go walk. I take a shower when I get home before I go to bed. Before I climb in my bed, I take a shower. So, like, the bidet works for me because I would have to go to the whole day with doo-doo butt. So... just talking about how clean I am.
Love it.
And
how was your week? Just loud, basically.
Oh no, man!
You were down there in the hot.
I don't want to complain.
Day.
I don't want to come off like I'm complaining about it or anything. Like it is.
No, it's not a complaint. It's honest. That's the thing is, there is a prolonged. We need to have more people coming out. Like once we got to the middle of last week on the basement show, I was kind of like, we don't need a cheering section. I'm going to go back to my place. I'm going to send you water and Band-Aids. You go out there, okay? Because there's not enough people to keep a sustained thing like this going for that long,
Yeah, I was there every day except for today.
And that's too much.
And
you should be able to just do it once a fucking week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. Like, it's not a big deal to me. Like, I was spending 3-4 hours there and then heading home. I said this last week on the show and like this isn't even about me pressuring people to do stuff. This is about like me and Brett are, I feel like me and Brett owe, the left broadly, but we owe them this time. Like we owe them our time. We make our living sort of like adjacent to left causes and stuff like that, and that like when something like this goes on, if there's somebody that's got to be there all the time, me and Brett, like I can't speak for you, but for me, I feel like it's a debt on my ledger that I should be there and I should be available to it, and like that's Because I don't want to.
I've never believed this has been something to organize, that white people are going to organize their way out. I believe that we are in the path of black liberation is the way for freedom for all of us. That's really all I'm here for, is to back that up and keep massaging that to happen.
I wanted to talk about that a little bit before we get into the calls. I saw the Philly DSA post, and you know what? I do also think that like, I guess I would say that the class first people, I mean, like, a lot of them really do want to help, and they're trying, and they're, you know, the DSA is a socialist organization which focuses on class issues. So if they're going to talk about these marches, they're probably going to talk about them in their lane of these things. But my thing when I'm talking to anarchists, socialists, communists, people like that are organizing around this is that, like, this doesn't have to be like a heavy-handed thing. This fight can be for black liberation. This fight is for racial justice. This is specifically a fight because about police brutality against black communities. This is nothing about class. What I'll say is, when you defund the police department, there's going to be a bunch of money, a hole in the budget. And the fight then becomes, where does that money go? And that is when you start having like a real class analysis and a class struggle and fighting about where that money goes. But like, you can achieve the goals of a broad socialist movement within this
framework,
within black liberation, but let this be about what it is about. That's the way I feel about it. Like, this is not like our thing. This is like, I was mentioning this, I tweeted this earlier today, but it's like, when a mass movement happens, a lot of times what'll happen is the news media doesn't know how to cover it, so they say, who's the leader of this movement? And then a bunch of people will raise their hands and say that they're leaders. And I've seen this happen. I've seen a lot of white people, like, willing to raise their hands and stuff like that. And, like, I gotta be straight with you. Like, I know how good it feels to get interviewed. And, like, I would love to be on TV. And if they asked me to be on TV, it would be very hard to turn it down. But in this situation, like, white people, I don't think should even like be accepting those opportunities. I think we should just shut the fuck up and let black people explain their position and amplify that.
There was discussion in the bike group of people wanting to do a solidarity ride, and someone was like, how about like a bunch of like disorganized white people stop trying to do projects and make themselves feel good? We can just ask. You can reach out to leadership that's already existed. In Columbus, Ohio, People's Justice Project, I would be fine to hand over the keys of the city to them so that they could decide what we're going to look at. I trust them wholeheartedly. So I would say you need to make yourself available to those organizations and just be ready to take orders, because this is what we had problems with. We've always had problems with this. The people on the sideline are like, I don't want to have to go in there and tell everybody how to protest and tell everybody how to win this thing. I've got a day job. And it's like, all right, you're getting a little too arrogant about this. How about you just make yourself available to the people that need you and do what you can to assist in somebody else's goal. The black community knows about this more than we ever will. So we have to defer to them when it comes to this kind of stuff. The support is appreciated. When you're out there, it's all love. You know, there's no trying to figure out who's for anybody. When you're out there, it's love, and we're all one people. But like, when it comes to the way that you're going to move, please make sure that it's with that in mind. You know.
Right. Yeah, I know they're not there yet, but they will be.
They are.
Oh, they're there. Okay. Yeah, just give it a minute. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, like, you know, that dipshit Michael Tracy, which, fuck that guy anyway. But, like, you know, go join Michael Tracy's movement if you agree with him. His big fucking movement. But I've seen a lot of people talk about how this doesn't advance, like, class. like class consciousness.
You're
and
arrogant and
stuff.
closed-minded.
But
you don't know any better. You don't, because just every day tell yourself you're stupid. Tell yourself you're dumb and you need to learn more. There's nobody, like, here's the problem we have. You think we start to convince ourselves that we know what's going on, and we don't. We fucking don't. You need to learn. You need to read books. You need to stop saying, "Oh, I kind of get it," what they're talking about. You need to know exactly, what Kwame Ture is talking about and shit. Like, you need to really look into this stuff. It's important. It's like there's a reason to. There is a historical context to all of this. This is the problem. Like, being an older person, is they always show up, like some 19-year-olds show up and are like, I just invented fucking electric guitar and I'm the best at it. And everybody's like, we've seen this all before. There is a lot of history to this. Angela Davis is still alive, actually. She's not just like somebody from history books. Angela, we could defer to her. She could be the president. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
They're already here. We already have all the knowledge and the lessons. We need to stop making about, I did go to the Clintonville protest, which I honestly thought was great. I mean, Clintonville is a very affluent place where, the houses are like $350,000 and you get about 1,400 square feet. But they showed up in a huge way, and I've seen a lot of radical action coming out of there. But it needs to be sustained. And the thing about that we have a problem with as Americans is because we want to be in a fight. We want to join a fight at the very end. How many of these motherfuckers joined this fight that began with Michael Brown and Ferguson? How many people were full of shit back then and just decided 3 days ago that they're now Black Lives Matter supporters? So, we have a lot more to go. And if you think that you're just going to come in at the very end and tip the fucking ball into the goal, you don't know what's ahead of you, and you're not real. You're not ready for this. This is a sustained thing that has to happen constantly.
Yeah.
It's going to be continuous, and it's not going to always be just going outside and having a party or being really loud. It's going to require actual work.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man.
More than just getting an Instagram picture and shit.
It's been a time. I plan to be back tomorrow, and or the next day. I'm fucking fried. Man.
You have to. I mean, I took breaks too. What we did? We went down today and handed out popsicles with the kids. We got 3, 6, and 7-year-old that. So we can't really. It's hard to take them down there and be out in the sun all day because they want a sandwich every 30 seconds or 30 minutes and all that. So we went and bought a bunch of popsicles and drove downtown and handed them out to protesters in front of the State House. That was a fun thing to do. Other than that, I mean, I'll probably go down this week and see what's left. But I know there is people still planning get-togethers and actions. So it just really takes being there is what makes a difference, and figuring out what to do next from here. Because it's not over. We didn't win anything.
No, none at all.
Really. We won a big pile of work to do to get these out. I mean, yeah, the only way there was only one way to defeat the police, and that was dismantle them.
Yeah,
and that's take all of their arms and legs and put them in a different box than their head and torso are in.
That's true. Andy Ginther, I think, waited us out. He didn't do anything. He's not gonna do anything. But that takes us to our first call. Let's answer this call.
All right.
I hope I can hear it.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, this is Bryce Sampson, Marcus Jones, and Joshua Clark, and we're from the Recall Ginther campaign.
Oh, awesome. Mayor Ginther is, that's the Columbus mayor here. He's a real dipshit. And
he's a worm. He seems like a wormy, weaselly guy. So when did you guys start this campaign? How long? I guess what are the logistics of this? What do we need to recall Andy Ginther?
So we'll need to collect just over 15,000 ballot signatures and get those verified. We're hoping to collect over 30,000 because you always want to get double what you need. We have 30 days to do that from 3 days ago. So we have till July 4th to collect those signatures.
How many
So
need?
we have 27 days left.
30K. We need 30K by July 4th.
Can you do it digitally?
Unfortunately, you can't.
What about
the Republicans?
You know what?
Blocked a bill that was going to allow that.
Oh, really?
In the state house, like a month or something ago.
I got a bunch of dead relatives. I got a bunch of dead relatives and their social security numbers. You think I could sell you some of those votes?
Well, I will say this. We do know Republicans that would sign a recall Andy Ginther petition.
That is true. I think you could go vote. I think you just need to make up a Republican version of the document. Like he was too weak during this crisis.
So Republicans can also sign the petition too. So that's something we have on our side.
Yeah.
I know we've definitely gotten some feedback already from some Republicans, and also seen a bunch of them following us on social media already too.
How uncomfortable does it make you?
A little.
It's, you know what though?
It's weird to be working with him, I guess. But I mean, this dude's an asshole. He's a piece of shit.
Right. He's
gotta go.
He has not done a single thing since this started. I basically check his Twitter every 2 or 3 hours. He doesn't post very much, which some might say is a positive. I mean, I know, he's not a Trump-type tweeter, but he's not doing anything. He has not done anything. So there's 3 of you on the line. Let's just go around and see what made you join and start this effort.
Yeah, so my name is Marcus, and so I very much, got involved in this effort just because I feel like the city of Columbus and specifically Mayor Ginther has been, just offering up empty platitudes, and they're not really dealing with the root of the problem. They're not dealing with systemic and institutional racism. They're not actually trying to address white supremacy. And that's, very much part of the reason why you see so many people, specifically, people of color out downtown in the streets protesting, because it's just like, this is a city that is run by Democrats, and yet we see, police very much terrorizing the community. And there's just no excuse or justification for it.
Right.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
This is Josh. Oh.
Go ahead, Josh.
Okay, I was going to say, mine's a little longer standing. We live in a city, and I know everyone blesses us. We're on every Forbes list. This city works for everybody, blah, blah, blah. Half the population of the city can barely afford to live in this city. The policies have been very much against working class, middle class people in this city. You can't just throw a D in front of your name and expect that, if your ideology doesn't match up with what the party representation should be, or the party ideology, you got to go. And at best case, he's a moderate Republican. I don't see anything. I mean, he's owned by the partnership. He's done everything they've requested from him. And then including one of my biggest sticking points, he lost me even before. I've been down there every day except for maybe twice, and I was down there Friday in the middle of chaos when, you let the Columbus Police Force basically use weapons of warfare against your own citizens. Weapons of warfare and a tactic that's outlawed in wartime for us, but you let it used on your own citizens. But for me, it was more when he refused to take Perry Tarrant as the police chief, took Quinlan over that individual. And Perry Tarrant, I don't know if a lot of people know about him, but he was out of Seattle. He was the finalist between him and Quinlan. Perry Tarrant had a 30-year history of promoting minority hires and diversity, as well as women hires, the highest women percentage, I believe, in America is in Seattle, including the first step to de-escalation process within the police force, which brought police violence down between the citizens and the police down almost 80% in his tenure. And that's what we needed desperately, especially in the midst of that was in the midst of when the federal government almost had to oversee the Columbus Police Department. We had a vice officer that was murdering prostitutes. A number of
Sex
situations with escalation of force with Officer Rosen. So he had an opportunity, and he blew it to go with status quo to appease the FOP that doesn't give a shit about him. Will never endorse a Democrat under any circumstances, and they still do measures to appease them on a fairly regular basis. It's just insane to me. So that's why I'm doing it.
Right, I'm with you on that too. Is like, it's very funny to see these guys that under no circumstances would the Fraternal Order of Police ever endorse them, and I mean, you know, I hate to use this language, but they're cucked. The Democratic mayors get cucked so hard by the police. Like, it is a real, like, where they're just like, oh, the fucking mayor's a big fucking pussy. And then the mayor's like, I think the police have been doing a really good job out there. I would like to throw them a little bit of extra money, help them out a little bit. And I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, that's great in your personal life, but it's not good for, like, governance, you know? Like, de Blasio is the same way, but Ginther has been really bad. I mean, when Henry Green got shot, there was a very pointed and specific policy thing that was asked to be changed, which is the summer policing program, and he extended it through the winter instead of that. He nothing has been done to Officer Zachary Rosen. Like, he has allowed this police department. Yeah, he's allowed this police department to run fucking wild. Vice officers went and arrested Stormy Daniels because she fucking hurt Donald Trump's campaign. They are allowed. They have been allowed to do anything they want since he's been the mayor. What's the fucking point in even having a mayor? He doesn't do anything at all. Nothing.
Well, the thing that the problem really is that he fucked up when he thought that the city of Columbus was the crossroads of Broad and High, and all of a sudden, when the city of Columbus decided that they wanted to mourn at the crossroads of Broad and High, he sent weapons out there to say Broad and High belongs to us, and we decide what happens at Broad and High, and we want a permit and all of this stuff. You can't protest, you can't be out here in the streets, and completely he fucked up everything. He fucked up absolutely everything. To be in that position of power and to see what your community is doing, the way you're supposed to look over them, and not be out there and try to do anything besides, I mean, Brian's daughter, I saw Brian's daughter get fucking sprayed with tear gas. You know, like, it was stupid. There was nobody out there was causing problems last Friday. And now they went the Instagram route, and that seems to have worked a little bit. People are liking the kneeling with the police bullshit, and they have gained a little steam, but I think that Ginther should always be held accountable for this. I think he failed. I think he's out the fucking door after this. It's just like, it's not a career. This isn't like this isn't like choosing, choosing a career. You're going to do this until we're tired of you, and then we're throwing you out the fucking door. You're lucky you're not hung by your tie.
Now, I have made a promise, a Street Fight Radio promise for any of our listeners that can get a hold of petitions, and we're going to find out how to get a hold of petitions here in a second from the people running the campaign. I promise, if we get this up and we recall Andy Ginther, I will run for mayor. And Brett will be my co-mayor. And I will 100% get the signatures and get on the ballot and run for mayor and make the Democratic Party denounce me.
Brian will go say a bunch. Brian will go make a bunch of
signatures first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Get this recall done. Where can we get petitions?
How do we sign them?
Yeah, so unfortunately, like I said earlier, you can't sign online, which is a bunch of bullshit, especially because, like, they were trying to get it done for some ballot initiatives over the summer, but
probably recreational weed
because of COVID. So The only way to do it is in-person petitions. Right now, we're doing it just out of me. Like, I'm distributing to people. People are either coming here or I'm giving them out to people. I'll give you my phone number in a moment. But we're also hoping to, within the next couple of days, we're going to be able to set up a couple points across the city for people to, we'll have petitioners out there, and you can just drive up, sign the petition, and drive away.
Okay.
Kind of like how the COVID kind of testing things are set up.
Yeah, that's tight.
We're still working out. We're
And
still
people
working
are
out
so lazy.
kind of the details on that because we have to find like public areas or like private areas that will let us do it. Like we can't go to like a Walmart parking lot and do it because they're going to come out and tell us like to leave.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any ideas too, we're hoping to get one on like east, west, north, and south.
Okay.
For all of those. Yeah, so I think that once we get that going, I think that will help a lot of people too, because even a lot of people have reached out to us like, oh, we want to sign it, but we're not, like, I can't go to like the protest, or I just don't want to go to the protest, like I'm afraid of getting sick, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Whatever. They have a million different reasons why. So that's why we're trying to come up with this backup plan.
Okay.
And we think if we can get this going and getting enough volunteers to do it and signing up in like shifts and stuff, we'll easily pass that 15,000 to 30,000 in no shape.
You have
like
until
we had
when?
July 4th.
We had over 2,000. We had over 2,000 yesterday just on like our first day.
Okay. All right. That's A. Then you're on target.
Today was a little bit slower, but the petition or the protest was also a little bit smaller today. So
yeah. So listeners in Columbus, help them get this filled out. Again, you'll get the Street Fight mayoral run if you recall Andy Ginther. Help them get these petitions filled out. Take them to your Republican family. Take them to everybody you know. Let's do this. Let's win this thing.
Can they mail them in? Is that a way to do it? Can we have people print them out and mail them to you?
That was gross. Sorry.
We've been kind of keeping it centralized right now because like we've been seeing a lot of people going out with like funky petitions and like getting people to sign things, and then people don't really know what they're actually signing for.
Sure.
So we've been trying to like keep volunteers held accountable to like to make sure like one of us hands each volunteer a petition, and they also have to like sign it out. We have like sign out sheets.
Okay.
But we have thought about like setting it up in email and kind of like emailing it out to people. I think we could get more volunteers that way. But yeah, we've been kind of taking like the easy, like the safe route now because, like I said, I know there was another one in Columbus today where somebody posted online and they're like, somebody's walking around with some kind of petition and they don't even know what it's for. Obviously, it wasn't like one of our people, like asking for people's phone numbers and this and that. And so.
Oh, that was me. I just like calling people. I just like to get people's phone numbers. I like to have a big collection.
Give them a ring-a-ding and say, hey.
I like to have like-minded friends to give a ring-a-ding-ding to. So what's the phone number where they can reach you?
Yeah, so the phone number is 419-672-1859.
Well, you guys are doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, I'd love to help you rig this election if I can help in any sort of
Brett
way.
Payne, you cut the fucking malarkey. You guys are doing great. You keep us posted on what's going on. If you need anything else from the Street Fight Boys, just let everybody know the Street Fight Radio Guarantee Promise is the first dual mayor of Columbus, Ohio. If you listeners if you get these petitions filled out, if we get this guy recalled, when the runoff election comes, me and Brett will run for mayor. Thanks for calling, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
we love you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Peace.
Oh, the CrossFit CEO's in trouble. He did a racist joke on the internet.
Oh no!
Probably lost all of his money.
Yeah.
Reebok just ended their.
Oh no!
Yeah,
that's a big slip up. What did he do?
I mean, he did an actual racist joke. I can't tell if he was being racist. You know what I mean?
He's trying to do ironic racism?
I can't...
Everybody thinks you're racist when you do ironic racism.
No, I don't think he was trying to do ironic either. I think he was trying to tell a joke, but he just kind of stepped it.
Halfway through, realized, oh, wait. Oh, no, this is not appropriate.
It said he responded to a tweet that said racism is a public health issue with it's Floyd 19, which is...
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I think he was... I mean... You know,
it's stupid.
It's not good. It's stupid, and it is a racist joke. Let me be clear, but I don't think I've seen a lot worse on the internet. But boy, this guy's fucked. I just like as I was looking.
Just don't say anything.
You just
don't go out there and be like, let's lighten the mood a little bit, everybody. It's getting so stuffy in here. Let's have a workout. Let's work out this energy and tell a little bit of a crude jokes.
Old guys just don't tell jokes anymore. If you're over 45, just stop. Don't tell any more jokes.
Yeah.
You haven't figured them out.
You're going to have to stop soon.
Good. I'm tired of it.
Okay. So you're setting me up for success is what you're saying. Eventually I can just give it up.
Yeah.
No, it's not funny, really. It's not that funny.
Well, no, I sort of...
making jokes out of everything.
Here's the thing, though. I kind of came up in the new climate. I started in this climate, right?
Yeah.
The guys that start, just don't. Just stay away from jokes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You save that for your buddies when you're smoking cigar. You're sitting inside of a hot tub smoking cigars with a bunch of lonely old men, and you're like, "This is the best. It doesn't get any better than this." Save it for that.
Yeah, that's the time to do it. Let's get another call in.
All right. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, fellas, this is, I'm going to go by Slinky tonight, down in Pensacola, Florida.
How's it going down in Pensacola, Slinky?
I got a lot to say. So last time I called, I got cut off by a storm, and now we got a bigger storm. We got a tropical storm rolling in. So I apologize if I get cut off. If that's the case, I'd love to call back next week.
Okay.
But we're hanging in there. I really appreciate the mom and dad routine y'all are doing. Brett, it's great to see you, really, really fucking energized and, trying to get shit together and really trying to, seize this moment.
I'm very energized,
really
too.
Nice to see.
How dare
you are, but you're doing the mom routine, and it's good. We need that, too. We need a little both, because we're all just spitting in the void, and you never know what's going to stick with who.
People have been telling me I was angry. Somebody posted this week, I haven't heard Angry Brian ever, because... I'm never angry anymore, and there's a lot of new listeners to this show over the years, and the last Angry Brian probably happened in 2016. So somebody's like, I haven't heard Angry Brian ever.
I see Brett's energy coming out of, Brett, you were never, really a big Bernie believer, and that was, you've been coming out hard against that now, and you're kind of, seizing this new moment. And, Brian, I was with you on the Bernie stuff. I guess I'm kind of, in between on the two of you. And I don't know, we need both, and, I appreciate the hell out of both of you, love the both of you. Thank you for doing what you're doing.
I like being the mom, to tell you the truth. I like being the mom. I think moms are better than dad.
I do too.
We need some man moms. It's good. And, Brett, you do the mom routine a lot too on, health stuff. So
I'm a total mom. I'm also total mom, but yeah.
It's all good.
And all dads do go to hell, that is true. Patriarchy sent you straight to hell.
So, in case I get cut off, I just want to say that we did have someone try to drive through the line of protesters here.
Oh, no.
Yesterday. It was a DSA comrade. He rode this fucking car on the hood for the length of a 3-mile bridge.
What?
Until police... Yeah, because there is my city, and then there's a bridge that Highway Patrol controls, and then there's another city on the other side. And the Highway Patrol could not, get anybody in, so the other police just waited 3 fucking miles to catch this dude who was driving.
How fast was he? How fast was he going?
About 50 miles. About 50 miles per hour.
And what
I can send the video in if y'all want.
Yeah, I got to see this.
3 miles.
Yeah,
on a
it
car.
was wacky. But I picked him up from the ER yesterday. Really funny. A lot of people are saying he's like a paid out of town protester. Even the police, when they like stopped him, like wanted to see his ID, and he's like, "Nah, I'm from here. I'm from here."
They think they thought he was a Jason
but no.
Bourne type. They thought he was some sort of activated
Well, that's
super
funny 'cause
Antifa
his name
super
is Jason.
soldier.
His name is Jason, as a matter of fact. But I'll send that in. So I got a whole saga here to tell about.
Wait, so what happened?
Some like kind of asked.
It was going 50 miles an hour and then it stopped at some point. Did he go flying off the fucking hood?
I don't have video of that. I do not know. The guy doesn't even know. Like, he's okay. Like, he's kind of like, got some soft tissue damage, fractures. But I asked him when I picked him up from the ER, I'm like, how did the injuries happen? He's like, I do not fucking know. I have no idea.
All right. Okay. Well.
Yeah, we're calling him the ride or die.
Yeah.
Is what we're calling him.
That's incredible. We'll give them a pat on the back. I'll send them a shirt if they want it. If they listen to Street Fight at all.
So yeah, I got a little saga to tell about down here. So basically shit started maybe like 10 days ago. When the first protest happened, there was like kind of a thing happening that a bunch of us like radicals were going to go check out. And it turned out to be like super lib. And, one of my friends was asked to leave because they had a sign that said like jail all killer cops.
Yep.
And we were told there was another rally going on at this place called Graffiti Bridge, which is like this train trestle that basically people can like graffiti on legally, and it's kind of like a site for public discourse a lot of the time. I know, like, Brian, you talk about a lot about how you want those like debate commons where people are just like getting up on a mic and just like saying shit and hashing shit out. It's kind of like that, and so a bunch of people decided to like organically rally there around a mural of George Floyd, which we did. And the mural was like soon defaced with like paint to look like pretty much like feces, basically.
Ew. What?
And so the guy came back, the murals came back and repainted the entire thing from scratch. And then it was established that there would be like a night watch, to watch out for the mural. And it was really funny because the first night I went to go check on the night watch, and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know who was going to be there. And I just like roll up like at like 2 a.m. or something because I couldn't sleep. And there's just a pickup truck like pulled up to the mural with the brights on. And it's just like blaring like fucking metalcore, Okay. And I was expecting like some black people, but it was just like basically like all the white punks just like hanging out, drinking beer at like 2 a.m. Good time.
White belts.
And so that has turned into like the organic rallying point here. But the thing is, there's been this guy who's taken over the whole thing, whose name is Kyle, who basically is like a Holy Boys like megachurch preacher. Like he kind of started taking over the mic on this thing. He was bringing out the PA, and after about 3 days into it, we got word that he had quit his job and set up a GoFundMe to do this work full time, allegedly. And we saw things go from like radical, where there was like anti-police chants, to like getting slowly more and more lib.
Yeah.
To the point where like he wouldn't on the mic, he wouldn't even chant, no justice, no peace, no racist police. He wouldn't even say racist police anymore. He would just say no justice, no peace. And they started bringing out bigger and bigger PA systems, playing like Miley Cyrus and like Michael Jackson, and like basically just turned into like a Kanye West Sunday service.
Yeah.
And I'm involved with like a lot of like black organizers who have been doing this like work for like years, ever since our own like Black Lives Matter incident with a man named Tamar Crawford down here. And we just decided to kind of like let them do their thing, safely watch from like a distance. We were doing like safety and security. We had a few like neo-Nazis spotted and stuff, and we were just doing all this in the background. And occasionally we would get on the mic and like make our demands and stuff. But basically, this guy like sold out to our mayor. He got the cops involved, like to where the point where the cops like shut down a street for us so that we could like march peacefully. And it's just basically been like a circle jerk about like how peaceful we are, and the mayor like praising us. And so this past Saturday, we decided to. Some of the radicals decided that we were going to do like a Food Not Bombs breakfast. And like pretty much just like a radical Saturday where we try to like take back that energy and get people involved in local organizations. And I was basically like a power broker for Food Not Bombs on the phone for like fucking 3 days straight, getting breakfast together for like 1,000 people, you know. And then after we announced that, the mayor decided, without consulting us, that he was going to throw us an appreciation barbecue for how peaceful we had been. Basically, like a pizza party, you know.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's exactly what it is. We've made a lot of money, and we want to give you a candy bar to say thanks. Here's a Hershey Kiss, you know, whatever it is. That's amazing.
Yeah, and it was sponsored by like Kia Autosport and like these corporations.
No.
But they were also asking for donations from individuals, despite like having like 10 corporate sponsors.
Yeah.
And it was affiliated with like, what's that fancy grill, like the Green Egg or whatever? It was like part of like their barbecue fest of like this bullshit gentrified grill fest.
Yeah. Yeah, the corps are ready to make money.
Canceled. Yeah, so we got that canceled, and you know, decided instead to like demand the mayor like come down for like a Q&A.
You got that canceled?
Yeah, we got the barbecue canceled. Yep.
How?
Giving them shit.
Like what? Just banging your skateboard on the ground at them?
You know me too well. No, some just like basically blowing shit up on Facebook, and I guess like there were a few local businesses involved who were supplying the barbecue meat.
Okay.
Who like genuinely like didn't realize they were doing like a bad thing, and pulled out. And you know, how the fuck are you gonna have the mayor's barbecue without the meat? You know.
Yes. So it's like an online shame campaign, which I mean, those have been effective. I mean. Right now, I'm still trying to put that together, that FOP list, that friend of the protesters, so that we can like lift up these businesses that stepped up and did the right thing, and the rest of them can die on the vine. Like they can go talk to their creditors about making rent due, because they're not gonna get another taco dollar from me if it's Condado. So, yeah,
it's good. We got like a punk rock like massage therapist down here offering like free massages for like protesters. Really fucking cool. So basically the barbecue got canceled, and, you know, Saturday was going to be a big radical day. We staged, and this is all, granted, this was yesterday, so the tropical storm was already coming in. It was like ominous as shit, just like pouring rain. We had like canopies and stuff for all our food, of course. But we got a lot of donations, and our condition from all businesses, that I was like orchestrating was that we didn't want any branding. This was not like a promotion opportunity to feed people. Like, if you want to give food, fucking great, but this is not about you. And everybody agreed to that. Everybody. Except for this Kyle dude who's on the fucking mic all the time, who, like, basically took credit for all of Food Not Bombs' work, and he calls his project, he calls this entire protest, he doesn't even call it a protest, he calls it the Kyle Project, after his own name.
Ugh.
And he wears a shirt that says Kyle, and he's made an acronym out of it that stands for Keeping Young Leaders Engaged.
No, this is not real. This is a hilarious sketch on Saturday Night Live.
This
a very
is real.
good version of Saturday Night Live. Kyle is like...
I wish I could make this shit up.
I mean, I consider that kind of like a slur, a little like an epithet. I don't know how to say that word.
Calling somebody a Kyle?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know.
That's like wall punchers, right? That's like those angry Monster Energy
dudes. I keep calling
dudes.
him Kyle Ass Kyle. I call him Kyle Ass Kyle.
Yeah, he seems Kylish.
So, you know, he is a black organizer, and so that's been like a big struggle is like, you know, basically talking to people about the difference between like this very unradical guy as a white person, like who is like promoting like Jesus all the time on the mic and is like making friends with the police, and like basically just like a grifter. He's such a grifter. So on Saturday, like our organized black radicals were just like fed up with it. The mayor came down and did his Q&A, didn't give us shit. And so there's this great video where you can just see like our main black organizer just like going from like absolute tears, like kneeling in the street, just like she was so fucked up about what was going on. Then just going into like full blood mode, just like stands up, fucking starts marching down this like 3-mile bridge where the car incident happened. And some people held a line on the bridge. We had hundreds of people marching behind us. But Kyle comes around with his microphone while we're marching and fucking starts pulling people back, telling us that we're being violent just by being in the street, you know, and telling people, no, this is not the way, this is not the way. And he basically took our ranks down from like 400 to 40. Like it was a pathetic line holding that bridge. And he pulled so many people away. Like I had like white people yelling in my face down where we were like holding a line, telling me that like I was disobeying black organizers and like, you know, doing a bad thing. But by doing that, we got the mayor to come down and make a concession on our demands, which we accomplished in 20 minutes, which like 10 days of like just like bullshit kumbaya protest did not even accomplish whatsoever. So we're catching a lot of flack for that right now. And I don't know. It was really weird. It was really strange.
It's been lifetimes have happened in days over the last 2 weeks. It feels like.
Yeah, I mean that's really my saga. I don't know if I have more to say about it, but I will send that video in.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate
I just need to vent to it.
Yeah, I mean,
I need to vent to somebody because it's been.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, it's been really complicated because like the radical black organizers haven't been sure how to like handle this like, you know, super grifty guy who's like co-opting everything. And one of my friends like deep dived his Facebook and he's like a homophobe as of like, you know, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
No history of posting about Black Lives Matter.
Right.
You know, so it's. I just needed to vent to somebody on the outside because we're really not clear what to do on the inside.
I don't know how to handle these guys either.
You're not in charge. Just defer.
Just sit back and
make sure the right people are on that problem. I guess is the best you can do because that is a lot of bullshit. You know, but that's going to be the same. I mean, I saw some of the LA folks posting about how all of a sudden Democrats started showing up and going, "Oh, hey there, I'd like to lend you an ear and hear what you got to say." You know, people start showing up doing that hokey bullshit and saying like, "No, we have to get more peaceful than peaceful." You know. And it just becomes...
Yeah, it's like they don't even understand, like, what MLK did. Like, I had, like, this, like, you know, white, like, liberal, like, literally yelling at me, like, on the line to come back. And it's like, she added me on Facebook, and I accepted because she's, like, really cute, whatever, I'll take it. And it's like, I apologized. I was like, I'm sorry I yelled at you because they complained that I was raising my voice. But it was like, I was up against the police, and then also, like, you at the same time. Like, I don't know what the hell else. Like, I don't know how I could expect to be calm when I'm in that situation.
Yeah, which side are you on? Pick it. Doesn't matter you don't have you never question the way anybody else is protesting next to you. You back them 100%. That's how it is. Like, unless if people don't want you to attack the police, if the crowd is trying to do a demonstration, they don't want you to attack the police. You respect what the crowd says. But yeah, there's no like if someone's battling the police, they don't need to have you backseat driving on what they should be doing. Stupid.
Yeah, it's been a wild adrenaline rush. Like I was trying to go to bed last night, and like I was soaked to the bone yesterday because it was raining all day. And as I was like almost asleep, I kept like just like flashing back to how soaked my feet and socks were, and I would just wake up a little bit and be like, "No, your feet aren't wet. It's okay. It's okay."
Yeah. Well, thanks for the call. We appreciate
that's all
it.
I got.
You did great.
Yeah, I'll send you that video. Where do you want me to send that to? What's best?
I mean, whatever you follow us on, any of the platforms, you can just DM or Patreon or email streetfightradio@gmail.com.
Cool. All right. Appreciate the hell out of y'all. Have a good night. Be safe.
Thank
you so much.
Peace out, Slinky.
Yeah, I think that shit's going to happen a lot. I mean, we're going to have leaders. It happens every time.
There's a lot, like Rachel went to her first protest. she thought that we were actually going out there to all get together to do what was right. She didn't realize everybody was half-stepping. Like, she didn't realize that everybody wanted to find a way that they could still have their Gap credit card and also get rid of the police. You know, they wanted to bridge a gap where we can make sure that we still keep our polite society that everybody likes so much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and so, yeah, you go to your first protest and then you get the first protest you go to gets co-opted with bullshit. But, you know, there's a lot of energy, real energy. And I saw the change out there and I saw who was ready. So it's just going to keep happening. It can't be stopped at this point.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's going to be ups and downs. It's a fucking marathon, you know?
Yeah. It's going to be a while, but, you know, things are happening, you know.
And look, and this is what I said before. It's like church. Like, you don't have to live 7 days a week radical. I'm fucking out there in the streets ready to die. You could do 2 hours a week. You could show up to an organizing group 2 hours a week and assist them in whatever they need to keep their thing going. You don't have to be the owner of everything. You don't have to solve everybody's fucking problems. You have to treat this shit like church, because those fucking right-wing fascist assholes are going to thump us on the head with their fucking Bibles. And they get together every single week on Sunday, and they hate each other, but they are unified in their hatred of us. And we need to unify with everybody with our hatred of them. And we need to start fucking hitting back, and we need to push them off the fucking map.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dinosaur shit, man.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who we talking to tonight?
Oh, this is Ian in London, Ontario.
Hey, Ian, what's up? How's it going?
Pretty good. I was at the protest here yesterday, and it was pretty amazing. I've seen lots of protests here for different things, and there'd be maybe 200 or 300 people. This year, I saw probably close to 3,000.
Wow.
They had organized a route for the parade, and they had to basically, it just kind of turned into chaos and took over the entire downtown because they just couldn't fit everybody on the route for the parade.
Yeah.
So it went on for about 4 or 5 hours. It was pretty incredible to see happen.
That's amazing. That's awesome. That's how I feel the same. Like, we've been, I was down there at Occupy when there was 100 people down there, and now it's 1,000 people, you know? So it is, it's growing.
Yeah.
And the kids know what's up, and people have been beaten up by our government enough that, you know, they're tired of this shit. I think everybody's tired of this. Everybody's tired of, like, the way things are, you know? No matter where you're at, everyone's tired of the way things are.
Yeah, it's good to see, cause we're in Canada, and it was good to see that it wasn't just kind of a solidarity protest. There was recognition from the crowd that this happens here, too.
Yeah.
There was definitely the crowd was, I would say, it seemed almost half black, which for a town that, I don't know what our black population is, but it's pretty small overall, but it seemed like almost every black person in our town was out there, and then tons of white people as well, of course, and everyone else.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, that's great.
That's fucking good to hear. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of places that showed up. One of those, I think someone posted, like, the most hateful town in America had a protest. Someone wrote an article about the most hateful town in America, and they had a Black Lives Matter protest.
I think I might have seen that on Twitter.
Yeah, sorry. So
we had in Montreal, there's been huge protests there too for the last, I think, 3 or 4 days at least, probably before that, starting out. And today they had tear gas and rubber bullets and everything that they turned on them out of nowhere. So
really,
it's pretty crazy. Montreal tends to get pretty wild in general when it comes to protesting, but I was surprised to see the cops taking that turn as quickly, and because they don't, like in Toronto, they don't seem to be taking that approach at all. So it's a little weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, like, a lot of the places are like, a lot of the cops in a lot of the places are like, well, we didn't even do anything, and it's like, no, you motherfuckers
You're guilty.
do stuff.
You're
You're guilty. You're still guilty. You're a cop. Yeah,
you committed crimes against the people. You're guilty. Hand in your badge and gun. It's over. Everybody. The problem is that we all voted. We all went there. We all went out this week and told everybody we don't want this anymore. and we don't actually get. They're not going to use that effectively to make any change because it all has to be done on their stupid Thomas Jefferson paperwork way. You know.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for calling in. It's good to see Canada out there doing it too. You know, the whole world is with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The whole world. It's weird. It's like the times we marched against the Iraq War, or that people marched against the Iraq War all over the world. But now they're all over the world. They're marching for our terrible country.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's incredible. Vidor, Texas is the name of that awful city. But you're right. It is. I mean, I remember the Iraq War protesting. I was not out there because I would think I was a teenager. No, wait. Was I out? No, I wasn't out there. I was fucking trying to make money. I was not radicalized. I was a dumb shit 20-year-old. But I remember the footage on TV of people in, London, all over the fucking world. Did you see that statue that they tore down in London and threw in the river?
Now they're tearing them all over the place. They also decapitated a Margaret Thatcher one, and I just saw a picture of people in Berlin that were doing it. We're tearing down some other statue too. It's funny. Overseas, they're just like, let's.
I'm tired of this shit too. Like we're tired of all of this. We're tired of capitalism globally. This is obvious. This is everybody in the world saying we're tired of this. We're tired of being monetized. We're tired of all of everything being transactional, while some people live lavishly. There's no reason to have any of the problems that we have in the world. It's just that people ignore it. The people in charge ignore it or make money off of, the disparity of the world. I think that everybody's tired of this shit. I mean, it really is time for, to have a completely flat earth revolution.
Yeah. Yeah.
But watching that, the best part, I just want to say, they threw that, it was Edward Colston. They threw that big ass statue in the water. And the best part is when a huge item goes in the water, it creates a gigantic fucking disruption. Like you've never seen before. And then it just, all these bubbles. It looks insane. And then it just goes out. And then you're like, that thing is gone. That thing just got erased from history.
The statue's gone. You're never going to see it.
Don't have to deal with this shit anymore.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's fucking great. All right. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight? And you can still read about his old dusty ass in any book. Hello. Thanks for calling Street Fight.
Hey.
What's up?
Hey, it's Andy from Denver.
What's up, Andy? How's it going?
Hey, well, I wanted to call about specifically Denver's protests being co-opted pretty viciously and pretty interestingly.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah? Who got you?
So, we're basically working against a group called We Are Love Denver, and they are a mayor psyop. We have definitely confirmed that on multiple levels, and we just had your typical shift in how the tone of the whole thing, changes. But ours happened in maybe 12 hours. We didn't have a couple people show up and just kind of take over. We had a army of very coordinated individuals just kind of show up and just all of a sudden completely take the tone from radical and angry to, killer cop photo op.
Yeah. I mean, that was something that I saw happening through the week too, was the language of love and peace and we're all one family and inclusion and stuff like that. And it was no, this is not about...
We're kicking them out. We're kicking cops out of the family. They're not in the family anymore. There's no more peace to be made with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Only hell awaits for them.
Well, and the interesting thing about this is I know a lot of the times when you're up against the DPD and the mayor and you're just a random guy, you can't do shit about it, to be quite blunt. You have limitations as an individual on, how many powerful entities you can seem to take on. But things seem to be going differently here. We've come together, a whole bunch of people who have never organized before in our lives, completely unaffiliated with DSL or anybody else, and we've basically discredited them to the point of where they've fallen apart on Twitter, and they're breaking apart to some degree.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to talk about, like just generally, I hear a lot on here about, people taking action and stuff, but it tends to be, people who are already loosely organized. And this is really interesting because a lot of us have never talked to each other. We've never seen each other. And we don't have like a rallying cry like DSA to, kind of get around. In fact, I actually reached out to Denver DSA and they appear to have done nothing coordinated.
Huh.
So we just kind of took it in our own hands, and we just started investigating each one of these people one by one, and we started to figure out who they were, and we started to basically boost on social media. And as of today, they've deleted pretty much their second alt account. They've been forced to defend themselves on the local news, and we've actually coordinated with, and we're not affiliated with, just to let you know, but we've coordinated with PSL to basically take back radical protesting.
Wow.
And we had about 600 people to, I don't know, maybe even at one point more than that last night, walking around, going to places of power and challenging them. We hit the jail, we hit the mayor's mansion, and then we hit the precinct. And we took back the protest for one night, and it seems like we did it again tonight. So, I just want to say it's possible to fight back against this stuff if it starts happening, but you need to do it quickly.
That's amazing. Thank
Yeah,
you for those.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for
That's a positive
the wind
thing.
in the sails. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Yeah.
also there's a lot of connections being made in each city that we do have to figure out what it's going to be. I love taking back the protest, but even if they do start to die out, I mean, we have to maintain some sort of a connection with each other to keep moving this thing forward. Because the next time we have the window of opportunity to make a big impact, we'll be that much more ready.
Yeah, and we're already talking about that. Just keeping in touch and continuing to organize. But just one more quick thing, just to say, I probably saw one of the most revolutionary turning points in my personal life. There was. All week, all the way since Sunday, since they showed up, Saturday was, the photo op with the chief, and then all of a sudden the mayor was there, and the whole tone shifted, and people were booing you for cops. They told people to pull their pants up. They called black people out for accountability with police specifically on an individual basis. They thanked the white man for cleaning graffiti up. They lied about defending a white child from being bombarded by rocks at a protest. Actually, the protest where the cops brutally assaulted us. And the tone got insane. They stayed afterwards with a megaphone to basically coordinate against people staying out past curfew. And they've done all sorts of just ridiculous stuff. Today, they claimed on Friday evening we rallied with the KKK. So that's the level of what they're going to try to discredit us. And on Friday, in fact, what happened is PSL showed up and peeled off about half their protest, led it in front of the precinct, let actual black voices spoke, amplified them. And we stopped the sympathetic pandering to the existing white power structures, and we stopped pandering to suburban sensibilities.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, the organizer of We Are Love Denver showed up, and he cried. He asked all the black children to please become the good cops, got booed. He tried to throw a water bottle at the cops and start a fight, and then we kicked him out, and then we had some straight revolutionary on the soapbox community hash it out. How are we going to handle this going forward?
Whoa.
There's some real shit going down on the ground out here. And I want you guys to know that if you're feeling like you're on an island, or if you're feeling like you don't know what to do, get out there and do it. And find some people to do it with, because once you do it, you don't stop.
Yeah.
And you keep going until you win. And the whole reason that I thought about calling in is I heard you talking last week, Brett, and you crushed it with your whole optimism. But I was feeling the opposite of you, because we were getting co-opted, and I wanted to almost kind of yell at you through the TV, through the screen, and be like, "What is happening? No way!" But you know what? There's a way out of it. So
hey,
just keep fighting.
You know what?
We can crush this liberal bullshit and this nonsense and get some radical voices elevated, especially black radical voices, because that's the point right now.
I absolutely agree. Thank you Thank you so much, because you're doing the heavy lifting for me. I don't know if you heard all the calls before, but there's a lot of talk of this happening. So I love to hear that. It only stops working when we stop trying. If we're gonna let
all those people.
Yeah, if we're gonna let a bunch of people with a bunch of hearts and rainbows on come in and start pushing us out of the way so that they can go talk about good cops, we need to push them out of the way too.
Yeah. I just, I don't want to take up. I don't want to take up space at these. Like, I don't want to push anybody out of the way. I'm a white 41-year-old man, and these marches aren't about me.
Sure.
And if I see black radicals saying, "Hey, cut the shit with the police," then I'll stand right behind that person and be like, yeah, fucking get them. You know what I mean? But I also don't want to be a person that I'm not I don't want to take up air at the thing. You know what I mean?
Well, I want to tell people that are trying to come up to protest, fuck you, whoever they are.
True,
I don't give a shit. Fuck them all. And we should figure out things to get back at them.
Well, the people that are co-opting the protests are like the last caller said, people who I'm putting up a GoFundMe so I can stop and protest for a living. It's people that want to make a living doing this now. They see an opportunity. It happened after Occupy. It happens after each one of these things. And it's people that want to make a living sort of protesting. You got to have access to make a living protesting, so you have to play nice so that you can get access with people like the mayor and the chief of police and people like that, so then it can then look like you're making things happen and getting things done, and then people will pay you money. It's a vicious cycle of opportunism that it's if we have to have leaders, we want leaders that don't have anything to gain from leading.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I think about.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say these two things real quick, and I'll get out of here and let you get some more calls then. One, primarily, if you are worried about taking up space in these places because you're a white guy, there are radical black voices that are afraid to say anything in the audience. Go talk to people, find them and amplify them.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to let them lead the charge, because there are people out there who want to lead it, but they don't have people to follow them. And that's quite frankly what we did.
Yeah.
And we got out there and we found some people who had something to say, and we rallied behind them to give them more bodies. Not voices, more bodies.
Yeah.
We echo their rally. And the only other thing I want to say is We All Love Denver. They put up a GoFundMe today. They're talking about going to every city in America for 3 days to spread their message and bring this to Washington, D.C. The chief leader of this is he's a guy who took too many hits of acid and thinks the deep state's after him and thinks Anonymous is an activist group.
Don't blame me.
He's not to be trusted. He's a grifter. And to be honest with you, they're going to try to spread this to every city. And that's right there in their mission statement. So if you start seeing We Are Love type stuff popping up, don't trust it. Trust your gut and trust your community. And that's all I got to say. So thanks for your time, everyone.
Hey, have a good night.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Loved it. Really invigorated it.
Yeah, that felt good, man.
Yeah, that's what we're at too. That is like I said, I have a bigger network than I did before, and I think that's going to be what it's going to be from here on out, is figuring out the radical voices out there that we can help in any way we can. Just make ourselves available. You ready to get? You want to do one more?
Yeah, one more, and we'll hit a break. How many we got? Show me the fingers. Don't say it out loud. Fuck. Okay, yeah, one more and we'll take a break.
No, this.
One more and we'll take a break.
Okay, one more and take a break. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, this is Mr. Maxwell from Tallahassee.
Hey, Mr. Maxwell, how's Tallahassee going?
Oh boy, buckle up, guys. So we've had 3 to 4 protests every single day since this all kicked off. None of them are coordinated. They're all kind of moving independently, which has kind of worked to our advantage because we've been able to spread the police pretty thin. But we haven't been able to have any really super large crowds. The largest we had so far is about 1,000. which in a metropolitan area of 200,000 people is, it could be better. Last Saturday, we had a guy with a truck drive through a protest.
Oh, no.
That was fun.
What happened?
Nobody was too severely.
Oh, good.
No one's too severely hurt. Basically, some guy, the cops didn't stop him. He drove in toward the protest, drove through it, had somebody riding on his hood for about half a block or so. Then the cops rushed in and got him, but he hasn't appeared on the booking report.
Okay.
So they probably just let him go.
That's what it's looking like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucked up.
It feels like they're letting a lot of these guys off
Yeah.
very easily. A lot of
They're
these
like,
assaults and stuff like that.
Fred, you got mad as hell. We get it. You were at the grill and you just wanted to shoot a bow and arrow at him because you were hopping mad. Thank goodness you didn't hurt nobody.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, the bow and arrow guy, they didn't. I mean, they tried him for assault, right? And it'll get dropped. Like they had to because people are going to search bow and arrow guy for a couple weeks.
Did you see what happened to his car?
Oh yeah,
they flipped it and burned it, right?
Oh yeah, it was great. Yeah, I love that video.
Yeah,
but,
it does.
Yeah,
it does rock because, like, you know, these guys have. That guy was probably sitting at his house, like fuming, watching the TV, and he was like, "That's it. I've had a goddamn enough of it. You know, I'm one of the 3% that'll do something." And he got in his car and he drove there with his stupid hunting bow and got his ass kicked and his car flipped. Then arrested.
The guy was sitting there watching.
Then
he was like sitting there watching the TV, holding the bow and arrow.
Then he got arrested by the police. He came to like show appreciation.
Yeah, he was fighting with them.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, but so the guy's not on the booking report, which is a bit messed up. But the reason I was calling was basically to let everybody know what's kind of going on in Tallahassee and something interesting that we've seen with our police. They are on their absolute best behavior, which is a problem because they've killed 3 black men since March.
Wow.
So we know that this is intentional. We know that there's a culture of violence. It's all over the country. We all see it. There's a culture of violence for these police. But the police here are playing nice. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the psychology of abuse and whatnot. A lot of time abusers will do something horrific and then play nice with their victim to kind of gaslight them a bit.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we suspect is happening here. So what a lot of us have been trying to do is show people that police are bad, not just through the violence, but other things. For instance, this is for everybody who can't go out to a protest. Hop online, and what I want you to do is I want you to check out to see what your police department has been getting from the Department of Defense. There's a program called the 1033 equipment transfer program from the Department of Defense. For instance, the Tallahassee Police Department has a $17 million plane. We don't know what that is. We don't know what that's for. We know that they have 2 Stingrays. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with that, a Stingray is a device that can remotely unlock and access your cell phone as well as capture SMS text messages from a huge area.
Oh,
and
you know what?
They may be using the plane to do that.
Oh, I just put Goatsy on my computer all the time so that when the cops hack into it, that's what they see. That's just a big prank I play on them.
Oh, there you go.
Nah, I don't know. I mean,
but
no, you take disgusting pictures and save them just for the people snooping in your phone.
Yeah. I do have pictures of my parts.
yeah, opened up.
It's not really my butthole; it's the taint area. Like I don't like to put any private parts I don't like to put any private parts out there, so I just get the area between, which is like not technically a private part. There's no pieces there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
There's creases.
Those creases are fine though. There's creases like on your
Creases
hand and
are next
stuff,
to
too.
pieces.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. There's going to be creases next to your pieces, but as long as there are no pieces in the picture, not dirty picture.
Okay.
Actually.
I like to take a boomerang of just like me pushing my butthole in and out.
That's just gross.
So if anybody that hacks into my phone, that's what they're going to see.
Stop it.
Nice.
Sorry, that got gross. We apologize.
Yeah, I'm going to take it over now. I'm going to go King Grossest if we go there again.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a picture of the top of my crack.
Sure.
Like just the very top that you can actually see anyway when my pants are falling down. But so they bought a $17 million airplane? Or sorry.
We're giving it, basically. That's the way the 1033 works. They basically get this stuff at like a steep discount from the military.
Do they have...
The local sheriff's department has a Bearcat.
We had drones. We had a drone flying around here, like a Predator drone flying around Columbus this week. I know for sure it was a drone because it had lights on it, and it wasn't a helicopter, and it was doing circles around the city. And I don't think you would do that with just a regular airplane. So, and it was very quiet. It was a quiet thing, and I was like, ooh. Oh, that's something, I guess.
We were on the military watch
You guys
list.
might have one too.
Well, we were on the military watch list.
You guys might have one too.
I mean, to tell you the truth, the Ohio State University has a tank.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure the CPD has stuff that I'm very terrified about.
But yeah, what I was saying was basically, if you can find out what your city has, bring that up to your friends that aren't quite motivated by the fact cops are killing and beating black people.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, Tallahassee is really centrist. And there's a lot of folks who are like, oh, yeah, it's awful. The police are very bad, but, they're here to protect us. And they just kind of leave it there at that, and they want to move about their lives. But if you can show them that, no, police are overstepping. Police are actually, they got a $17 million plane over here. What are they doing with that? How is our money being spent?
Yeah.
As well as you could point out the whole, cops are domestic abusers, 4 times worse than any other profession.
Yeah.
You could point out that 40% of law enforcement families report being abused by the cop. The other cops protect them. You can get more people to kind of, who, again, they weren't moved by the racialized violence, but if you point that out to them, it's something that they feel like they're more connected to, as gross as it sounds.
Yeah.
I've gotten at least 7 or 8 people over to let's abolish the cops.
Dude,
otherwise probably wouldn't have.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, I wasn't the one that did this. I did go verify the information and go on the site. But shout out to Love No Limits on Twitter. They went into the Columbus budget and got the graph. This was literally just a PDF that showed $350 million being spent on the police and $7 million being spent on education. And I shared the graph, and so many people were gasping. People were like, "Really? Is this serious? Is that real?" Yeah, that's a real graph. It's on the city's fucking website. You go to columbus.gov, and they'll tell you that they're spending 10 times the amount of money on the fucking police than they are education. It's fucking nuts.
And that may be the angle we have to take with a lot of people who just aren't moved by the violence.
True.
But anyway, that was my main reason for calling, just to let people know who can't protest. You can still research, you can still find stuff, you can still be in this fight.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but just,
there you go.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. You guys have a good night.
Thanks. I just got to say this right here. Joey Baloney, Joey Baloney.
What about him? Baloney
Just
Strong?
To say his name. Baloney Strong.
Baloney Strong. Baloney Strong.
This is where I wish I was a right-wing guy.
Yeah.
Because I would really get behind... I'd get a Joey Baloney shirt.
Joey Baloney, for those of you that don't know, is the Philadelphia police officer that got in trouble for assaulting a protester, and the cops stood behind him, right?
Yeah, I saw.
This is their campaign to support Joey Baloney.
And
people are taking bologna slices and putting it all over their car's paint in honor of him, making their shit polka dot.
I can't verify this because we're doing a show right now, but apparently, the chief or no, what did they call the top guy in the commissioner of the police in New York.
Okay.
Gone.
The commish.
Quit. The
Okay.
commish. Yes. Michael Chiklis.
Yes.
Previously blackballed because he played John Belushi or Jim Belushi, whichever the Belushi that's dead is.
He
And
what?
you didn't know that?
No.
So there's a movie. So there's a book called Wired, and it is about the Belushi that's dead. I believe that's Jim. John. Yes. According to Jim, that's how you remember it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So John
That's how you-
Belushi, there's this book about John Belushi. It's very sensationalized, probably mostly true story about, John Belushi,
Yeah.
right? So they made a movie about it, and Michael Chiklis played him in the movie and got blackballed for a very long time.
By who?
Hollywood. Nobody would
Lorne
hire
Michaels?
his ass. Nobody would hire him. And then he got the part in the commish, and it all fucking brought him back, baby.
Wow.
Michael Chiklis, he's back. Then he played The Thing.
He told me how dirty cops could be in The Shield.
He played The Shield. He was in the Fantastic Four. Now Michael Chiklis is just fucking out there doing his thing,
See?
Sometimes you got to work through Sometimes you got to work really hard through. This is another inspiring story.
Sometimes you step in it.
Yeah, this is just another inspiring story that could really, you could use this moment right now to think about how Michael Chiklis survived being blackballed by Hollywood for playing John Belushi.
Yeah, we get it.
Joey Baloney.
Joey Baloney. He's going to play Joey Baloney.
Yeah, I hope he plays.
Re-blackballed.
I hope he plays Joey Baloney. Let's fucking ask if we can, because
Is he Joey Baloney or Tony Baloney? What's his name?
it's Joe. Joey Baloney. Because that's the two things before we got on the show I got obsessed with before we started recording.
Yeah.
Before we went live. The other one is Trump is doing a speech about racial justice this week. That I haven't watched very many Trump speeches, but I'm going to watch that
Yeah, I'll be there
speech.
for that. I would like to know. Maybe we could watch together or something. What night is it?
I got to look it up. His style. The thing about his style is with his address, and plus 2 weeks late. Actually, just so late.
He's been embarrassed. He's made all the wrong moves. He's been He's like parroted segregationists and shit. He's going to come and talk about coming together.
My dude has not made a good move in 2020.
Yeah.
And he's still going to win the goddamn election. That's the fucking thing. You know.
Think so?
Yeah.
You think you got it?
I was listening, and this is a very good episode. If you're on the Struggle Session Patreon, they had T from Champagne Sharks on, and they were talking about some of that stuff, and they were talking about how Joe Biden, like, everybody was sort of, like, told not to go in heavy on Joe Biden during the primaries, especially on the mass incarceration and his issues with race, and they didn't. And that, like, yeah, you might think, like, that Trump is racist, so...
Right.
But the way that they described it is, if Trump can paint Biden as a racist, then he can just paint it as it's two racists running against each other, and people will just be disgusted, turn it off, and not come in. But the Trump people are going to vote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they are going to paint Biden as racist, and there you have plenty of stuff to use.
Donald Trump is a horrible boss and a bad decision maker and shouldn't be in charge. But he didn't lay as much groundwork as Joe Biden has for racism in America to make it more of a standardized 3 strikes type situation.
Also, he doesn't. He has the advantage in that, like, everybody knows Donald Trump is racist, and he doesn't care if you think he's racist. Whereas, like, Joe Biden, he's playing by different rules than Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody knows that when Donald Trump is like, Joe Biden's fucking racist, like, that he doesn't care about racism and that he's actually racist, but he's still going to say it, is all the same shit with Hillary Clinton, All
right.
We're going to hit a break.
Yeah, we got to go to break. I don't know what fucking...
Folks.
Joey Baloney.
Folks.
Yeah, folks.
I wish, folks...
Jeez, did you read about it in the papers? There's a lot going on in the papers.
He's just gonna name every black guy that's ever been nice to him.
Yeah,
ever in the history. Like whoever I had him on The Apprentice. Omarosa.
Yeah,
she was in my cabinet.
All right. So this is a good one. Somebody messaged me. This is Bear God. They are out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Looks like the woods to me. This album is called 179.17. You can find them at beargod.bandcamp.com. This shit fucking goes. Get ready.
Black and gold, fill the sky.
No, not yet. Welcome back to Street Fight Radio. How's it going, everybody? What's up? It's another call-in show. we have a full queue to get us through the rest of the night. So if you want to get in, save it for next week. We do this every single Sunday night, 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time. You can find us on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube if you want to watch along. Also, those videos are archived there if you want to watch along. And otherwise, just podcasts. That's how we got started forever ago as a podcast on Facebook. On Spotify, Google, SoundCloud, any of your podcasting platforms. Subscribe to Street Fight Radio. Give us a 5-star rating and let people know that you like what we do. And finally, if you want to support what we do, head to patreon.com/StreetFightRadio, where you can sign up for a monthly subscription to get access to bonus videos, zines, audio content, lots of great things to take up your time if you need more content. Thank you for being here, everybody. You ready to take more calls, Brian?
Yep.
Let's do this. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
There's Elizabeth.
Oh,
Elizabeth,
my goodness.
What's up? We haven't heard from you in a long time.
Yeah, so it's because I'm a fucking idiot, and I've been calling the wrong number for months.
Really?
I had the wrong. Yeah, I had the wrong number saved in my phone. So I don't know. Maybe it was just an old number, and you guys switched over, and I didn't realize.
Start smoking weed, and then you start calling the wrong number. What the heck?
I have a bong in my lap right now. But yeah, so last time I called, it was actually the night before I started with my job. This job fucking rules.
Really?
It is what I would call a street fight job.
Well, it's not something
where
very
there's like
often.
some actual work. It's a custodial job, but it's a university, but it's like mostly older students, non-traditional students. So there's just kind of a lot of downtime.
Okay.
I don't know.
So you're just like,
so yeah,
hanging out, keep shit clean, get spills when it's needed.
Pretty much, but that's what I would have been doing, except for a week after I started, we went to working once a week because of the virus.
Yeah.
But I was still getting paid full time.
Nice. Oh, that's a rock.
Which is just like, I literally don't know what I would have done. Just like, because I just didn't have money, So I've actually been able to kind of get on my feet. Now we're working 4-hour days right now, 5 days a week, which honestly is fucking great.
Yeah, that's the dream.
It's just, it's great. Get it done in the morning. But I think we're opening up again full time. For students and stuff, soon enough. So
I think.
But yeah.
Well, there's been an assault on everything, and the virus, still is going on, and it's still having lasting effects, and it has changed the way that people think about the workplace too, and like what needs to get done, and how much can get done, and how much amount of time, how much money is there to pay people to do this stuff, Like a lot of the stuff that they told us they could never afford or we can never do is now happening all the time. People are going to work. Yeah. People are going to work and saying, I feel a little uncomfortable. I'm going to go work from home and just dipping out, and that was something that felt, for me, I always, every job I had was like, you need to be at this desk 40 hours a week. And if you're there 39 minutes and 59 seconds, then I fucking fucked it up. if you're there for 39 hours, if you're late one fucking minute, you're fired or you're in trouble. But it's like, no, we just have to get this job done.
You have a point taken off.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a job that needs to get done. That's what we have here. We don't have a point system. We don't have to deal with any of that. We just have to do the essential work here.
Yeah. So I'm way more on my feet now, which is a nice change of pace over the last year. But I'm not really on social media. I have a Twitter, but it's my old sex work account. So I'm just trying to figure out how, where people are needed, whether it's doing mutual aid stuff or protest stuff, whatever. So I guess if anyone is in Chicago or around Chicago, I'm in the suburbs right now.
but I'm fine traveling. And you just need people. Can I give out a phone number?
Yeah, it's up to you. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, I got a Google Voice number.
Okay.
Smart. Yeah, that'd be great. Just because I'm not really sure, how to be getting involved with much right now. But I figure there's got to be some people listening who would. Shit, come on. My phone is such trash. All right, 262-724-6856. So yeah, just if you need, anyone for mutual aid or protest stuff or whatever.
Get Elizabeth looped in.
Yeah, Elizabeth's great. Has been there from the beginning, and loop her in.
But yeah, I don't have a ton to say. I haven't been to anything yet, really. Just because I'm trying to figure out where it's happening. But I did see one up in Rogers Park, one protest, and there was an entire city bus full of cops, like one of those, two like part ones, with the flexi thing in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally every seat was filled with cops, and then they started just like kind of going out into like the neighborhood park area, and by the time half of them were out of there, you could turn around 360 degrees and you would have to be seeing multiple cops at all times. It was just, I don't know. It was just like a very clear message of how they're expending their resources.
Yeah, the whole thing is just upended everyone's understanding of what exactly the police are. I mean, for people that have been trying to abolish the police since they started, it's all quite obvious, but they really just went out and did it in front of everybody, like with all those cameras on them, and thought they were just going to say, like, that's how we regulate shit. This is what we have to do,
Yeah, shit's feeling different, though. I don't know. Like, it just feels like fascism is just kind of way more in our face right now than it ever has been. Just like even the fucking suburbs are changing. Like I'm just seeing so many more cops. And I don't know. It's all just fucked. But people are doing good work, and hopefully we can work through some stuff together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for calling, Elizabeth.
Yeah, appreciate it.
It's good to hear from you.
Yeah. Well, have a great night, guys.
You too.
Peace.
Woo! Let's do it. Let's take these calls, man. We gotta take these calls.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, it's Andrew from PA.
What's up, Andrew? How's it going in PA?
It's going okay. I kind of have like two protest stories because I noticed it's basically protest night. I got one about this like smaller town, like 10 miles from me, and I got one from Pittsburgh.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Okay, so I was there for the first day of the Pittsburgh protest, man, and it's just fucking. They really went hard without outside agitator bullshit, man.
Yeah, they made a big impact immediately.
They tried. Like I saw on my local news station, man, they were like 46 people arrested. Only 22 had city addresses. It's like, what the fuck? What does that even mean? It's like,
yeah, it all fell apart too. Everybody ran with I mean, there were so many stupid people that were like, "Oh, the mayor said that it wasn't even the citizens," and it's like, come on, we're out there.
Yeah,
it's us.
Yeah. They trotted out the fucking chief of police, that fucking pig, and they were like, they made him like say this ridiculous line there. He was like, "It's really a shame that this nice protest got hijacked by white men." It's like, what are you talking about? You're a white guy.
I didn't see that shit happen either. That was the thing. I said this on Wednesday, but it was
I
like
was there.
The outside agitator thing was bullshit the whole time.
No, of course. Like I'm not gonna say anything incriminating, but it's not true. I saw what I saw.
Yeah.
And that's definitely not true.
Yep.
Like, oh my god, it drives me up the fucking wall. And they kettled us really bad. They split us in like 4 different groups. It sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
So and just this like white anarchist thing. It's like Pittsburgh just has a lot of anarchists.
Yeah, We've always sold a lot of tickets in Pittsburgh, so we know that there's a lot of anarchists in Pittsburgh. I mean, it's kind of like they are dividing and conquering, which is what they try to do.
Yeah, for sure. And you've got like well-meaning people like thinking that they're, I don't know, being woke by saying that it's all like white anarchists' fault, which is very annoying.
Yeah. The whole thing has been a clusterfuck, but I mean, it hasn't worked. I don't think any of that has worked. People came out stronger and stronger.
No,
the
I
more
really
they
don't
tried
think so
that.
either.
What's working? The police going light is working a lot better, than
I
any of
kind of have another thing regarding that. The other protest I went to just the other day, a small town like 10 miles from me, because I live in the middle of fucking nowhere, so I kind of have to go where there's people to do anything. And it was better than I expected. I expected it to be very, very like self-righteously, non-violent, but it wasn't that bad. There was, no justice, no peace chants, but they did do the racist police chant part, which is good.
Yep.
There was this woman who had a sign with a QR code on it, and I was like, oh, this is going to be some weird like tech stuff. But no, if you scanned it, it took you to an article about the what the fuck is that called? The like Tulsa like race ride or whatever, the Greenwood.
Yeah.
You guys know about that?
I don't.
Yeah, and it's oh, you don't? Oh, okay. Well, it was this thing where in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in like the 1920s, there was this really, really rich black neighborhood I think it was called Greenwood. And it was super, like, self-sustaining, and all the money was, like, in there. Like, it was an incredibly prosperous neighborhood, and there was, like, some false accusation of some crime. I'm not quite up on the details. But it culminated in a white, like, mob just burning down the whole neighborhood, basically.
Okay. I do remember that. I just
really
heard it
terrible.
called Greenwood. But, yeah, I know. I see what you're talking about. I have to refresh myself as well.
Yeah, and I was very sort of heartened by that, because it wasn't, seeking kind of a fucking nonviolent solution or whatever. It was like, recognizing the like very violent history of race in America and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was a very like go out and vote protest, and it's like, voting's fine, but you gotta do more than that. Like, Joe Biden's not gonna save us.
No, he's not. I mean, you got to expect him coming out and talking about voting, though, no matter what's happening. If this was a county fair, they would also be standing there saying, you have to vote. I mean, they're opportunists, too, and I can't imagine somebody going to this thing and not planning to vote for Joe Biden. I don't think there's a lot of Trump people there. There might be a lot of people who aren't going to vote, but I mean, it seems like wasted energy to go there to try to find potential Biden voters,
Yeah. There was a person walking around registering people to vote, but they didn't seem to be getting many takers.
Yeah, no,
they were like, how many people in this... Yeah. The speaker was like, how many people in this crowd are registered to vote? And he just kind of was silent, because I think most people just kind of like looked to their left and right being like, yeah, we're all registered. I mean,
yeah, we're like just, politically active people at a thing here.
Yeah, it's like we're not going to come out and stand in front of this fucking courthouse if we're not politically active. Like,
yeah, we tried voting. That's why we're here.
Yeah, exactly. Too.
We know how to show up at the ballot box for 1 hour a year, or every 4 years, or 2 years, or whatever the fucking cycle is.
Yeah. There was this very little, not little because it was kind of a big thing, this sort of controversy. There was this guy with AR-15 who's open carrying, which, at these demonstrations, it's always like, ooh, what's he doing here?
Yeah.
and we like formed a circle because one of the organizers was like everybody form a circle. He was like, look, this guy's not trying to provoke us. He's actually marching with us. But the thing was, then they gave the guy the megaphone, and he said that he was here to protect small business, and we were like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
We were like, dude. And there was a man in the crowd who was very agitated by that, and I think rightfully so, but he wasn't articulating very well, and he was saying, like, he kept referring to, like, the weapon he was carrying, and it's like, I'm not so much concerned about the weapon, I'm concerned about the fact that he feels the need to protect small business. Like, what the fuck? Who cares? It's all fucking banks on this street anyway.
Yeah.
but it wasn't even that kind of a fucking protest.
Yeah,
because I think that would have been kind of foolish.
We had a few open carry people, but they were on our side, so it was just kind of like,
we
hey,
did
buddy.
too. Is the thing.
Yeah,
I didn't see them, but they were at the back of the crowd, and it's funny because one of them is he's friends with my brother, and he was a big like fucking MAGA idiot, but he was like, yeah, we're here to protect the protesters in case anyone fucks with them, and we were like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Sure.
Because I'm in Southwest PA, which is very fucking ooh. So, you know, I expected something like that, but it was nice to see someone who was on our side as well.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for calling in. It's that's good to hear.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Peace.
You too. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, I am hot.
You're hot?
I'm hot. Hot.
I don't know if I can.
It's okay. You can't really do anything about it. We just got to get through the calls.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hello there. My name is Mitchell, and I'm calling from California.
Hey, Mitchell. What's up?
Not really much. I'm actually from a Central Coast town that is known for being one of the least diverse towns in, well, all of coastal California, and it has been interesting watching the protests occurring. It's been like maybe a handful of black people, but then like this huge swarm of like white allies that have been gathering around them, and it's ironically some of them came from other counties due to the curfews, and there being none here. So it's very interesting to watch and also participate in. It's weird.
Yeah. So has what has been the kind of help that they're offering? Are they just like following them around and asking them
pretty much that.
What to do?
Yeah, pretty much that. Although there have been a few unusual instances. Like at one point, obviously with all the freeway locking incidents, the police's goal was to block us from reaching the freeways. Mm-hmm. Although at one point when we did reach the freeways, suddenly they started pushing people back like very aggressively. And then I believe I heard one guy throw a water bottle, and then they suddenly started shooting rubber bullets at everybody and tear gas canisters. And keep in mind, this is just a town of 40,000. Like, everybody knew this happened. So,
yeah.
I know it's not like that notable overall, but I just find it interesting. Although there is one thing that has really gotten on my mind ever since this movement started. It's a bit of an association. Ever since this started, I've been noticing a lot of action has been getting done in terms of like legislators approving things. Like in California, they just passed a new regulation for rubber bullets. It's probably not that much, but I'll take anything at this point. And one thing that made me wonder, though, is this the new normal we need to have in order to get any reasonable policy passed at this point? Is it?
Yeah, it does seem that way. It's like, I mean, someone someone just said in the chat, Radio Silence, that a man in Brooklyn by the name of Jamel Floyd was maced to death.
I heard somebody here.
And we had someone
Sarah Grossman
in Columbus,
I think was the name. I might have got that wrong.
Who also, after being subjected to tear gas, had some sort of episode and ended up not being alive the next day. You know, they aren't going to blame it on the police, and I don't know if the police are going to be charged for the murder, but that it does seem they want us to they're like, are you willing to fight for it? Are you willing to burn down the whole city to get just a little bit of change? You know, because they're not even planning. They're still like the people in charge still see themselves in charge at the end of this. They're not like, we've listened to the people and I as the mayor need to stand down, to step down from my position. I need to hand over my power to the people that live in the city, that are here, that are out here, and all of this. Like, they're still figuring out how they're going to surf this wave and keep getting their paycheck, so that 2021 is their best year ever.
Exactly. And the thing that I was wondering about was, I'm actually majoring in city regional planning, and I've heard all kinds of terrible stuff about climate change. So once we're able to get through some legislation that helps the Black community, one thing I'm wondering about is, will we need to do this all over again for like any other critical cause, like healthcare, climate change? Because clearly they don't listen to peaceful protesters, and my biggest concern is approval for these protests are high, but what about when it's not? What more shit will they be allowed to get away with? Exactly.
That's true.
Like, imagine if this was unpopular. Like, imagine if this was basically seen similar to the whole Michael Brown incident, where half of the people didn't see it as brutality, the other half did. I'm willing to bet that there would be way, way worse shit going on the streets if that were to have, if this scenario were something like that and people were protesting that. It's just, the only thing holding them back from going, I think, like with actual guns, is the fact that the movement is popular currently.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the reason that they're not coming out to fuck with us is because it's popular. The reason that they're trying to co-opt it and absorb it is because it's popular now, and they know that it has to be. I find it interesting that, like, we're just like a few months from when, you know, Pete Buttigieg and Joe Biden and Amy Klobuchar were all talking about how Americans don't want revolutionary politics. And now it feels like, hey, maybe they did actually want that. Maybe you guys misread the room and fucked up, and now, you know, now we're gonna get everything we wanted. All of our, I mean, we might be able to. Now we have like the energy and the numbers to get everything we've ever wanted done. You know, without them. And maybe that'll be the lesson in the end here.
Hopefully.
I mean, really, I think that is the only real way to go about things. And being a Gen Zer myself, personally, I've seen a lot of, like, heavy left-wing, like, thought among my generation. Like, we're actually to the left of millennials. We support socialism more than capitalism by about 3 points. Albeit, it's the Bernie Sanders version, which isn't exactly socialism, but it's a big step in the right direction either way. And it's going to be interesting to see how we end up voting in the future.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, that pardon me if this was a bit dull. This is my first time calling into the show.
You're good.
Okay, and thank you for taking this call, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening.
You too. Have a great night.
Sweet dreams.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Too polite, buddy.
Very polite. Very, very polite.
Don't be too polite.
Yeah.
He was great. I love the analysis and the questions there. Really is important to ask. I mean, this is what's required. We just saw what's required to get the people to pay attention. So on these other issues, this is what we're going to have to do. You know, if we ever want to be heard. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, is it me?
It is, but only you would know.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Oh, okay. Vamp.
Okay,
Brett, say some stuff. What's up? How you doing tonight? Who's this?
Hey, this is Justin Comer in Iowa.
Justin!
Oh,
hey! Wow. You've never called this show before.
It's been a very long time. I have called, but it's been quite a while.
Well, it's good to hear from you. What's going on, Justin?
Well, I wanted to thank Brett for mentioning my name on your most recent episode, The Basement Show.
You're welcome.
Hell yeah. I mean, you get a mention on The Basement Show, that's a big mention, you know. The call-in show,
oh, absolutely.
That's okay. But a Basement Show mention is a big fucking deal.
I hope Iowa got taken care of. I hope the people got some money because of it.
Yeah, things seem to be going okay on that front. I missed the first half of your show tonight. Has anybody else called in from this area?
No, we haven't heard anything from Iowa today.
Okay, well, I can recap some events that I've witnessed.
Well, what's going on?
I've gone out every night besides Thursday night since last Sunday. The most notable event would have been late Wednesday night. We had a group of we had over 1,000, I think. I don't know like exact numbers because it's kind of hard to tell, you know. There's just so many people there. But we were walking slowly up this street that connects to Interstate 80.
Okay.
So it seemed like the intention was that, you know, we were going to block off the interstate. But the city police, county sheriffs, and I believe state patrol, they were all ready for us. You know, they'd set up a line before we could get to the interstate. And what I've read afterwards is that the Iowa DOT had the closest on-ramps blocked as well. So traffic was stopped on the interstate, and the cops had people out there stopping us from even getting to the interstate. And even so, like it was going to be impossible for us to get to the interstate, and there was no traffic, so there was no actual danger. But even so, with us walking slowly towards them, hands up, everybody hands up, they, you know, opened fire. They started throwing flashbangs at us and deploying tear gas. It's the fucking craziest thing I've ever seen. It was terrifying.
Yeah, DC was like the one that was where we got introduced to all that kind of stuff, and it just is terrifying the first time you hear those fucking flashbangs and all that other shit go off. The first time you get fucking tear gas in your eyes is just insane.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be far enough back in the crowd that like the flashbang didn't like damage my hearing, and the tear gas did not actually like get onto me. But like as soon as that first boom came out, like everyone in the crowd just bolted backwards. Yeah. So it was really dangerous. Like obviously the police made that situation way worse than it was going to be. It was way more dangerous because of their actions.
Yeah. Yeah, the way that people run, it's like just like a school of fish just starts like darting in one direction, and it feels like pandemonium.
Yeah. And so yeah, I myself did not suffer any physical harm, but I was like just witnessing like people screaming like medic. There was a guy who had his daughter with him who was probably like around 5 years old, and she's screaming that she wants to go home. I helped a dude who like had the first boom go off like right next to his fucking head. I just sat with him on the curb while he like recovered himself. Yeah, I've never like it was like a war zone. Like no one died, but fuck.
Yeah, it feels scary. Like I'm sure. Like, have you had like flashbang stuff and all that stuff in Iowa before? Have you ever been involved in anything like that?
I have not myself. I don't think this happens very often.
No, absolutely not. I'm sure we were there. It like people probably had to drive a good distance to even get gathered. That many people, right?
Yeah, I mean, Iowa City has a decent like population of young people, but it's summer, so a lot of them are gone. And you guys came to Des Moines, and it's been far worse over there. Like earlier in the week, like pretty much every night, the cops were firing tear gas on people, like arresting newspaper reporters and shit.
Yeah,
they love
it.
And
they finally got rid of our curfew because every single night it was just a battle with the cops. They would go to they would be curfew time, and then they would just be hup. All these guys would just run and start beating the shit out of people.
You want to know why they got rid of the curfew?
small business.
Yeah, Woodlands Tavern was going to sue them.
Oh, really?
A few
Really?
Woodlands
Wow.
and a couple of the other small businesses, the bars in town, were going to sue the city. And he was like, you know what? Everybody's good now. No more curfew. You know, small business. They came through for us, I guess, for once.
We've had kind of the opposite. So I live in Coralville, which is a suburb of Iowa City. We've got about 20,000 people here. And last Sunday night, there was a small group of people who looted the Walmart. Apparently, I don't really know the details. It doesn't seem like they actually got much out of the Walmart.
Allegedly.
And then, yeah, right. And then, like, a few windows got broken in the area around the Walmart. And we have had, it started as an 8 p.m. curfew, and then it became a 9 p.m. curfew. But we've had that in this, like, suburb of 20,000 the whole week since then. And there hasn't been a single incident.
Yeah.
People haven't even been, like, demonstrating peacefully or anything since Tuesday night here, as far as I know. And there's still a curfew.
Wow.
Yeah. I can't believe they got rid of ours. I thought we were going to be weeks with it, but we got lucky. They got rid of it. Because I was, like, hating driving home from doing the show because of the curfew.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, I don't fucking know, man. But, you know, I guess, like, the idea would be that I would say I was driving home from work and I would be okay. But,
yeah,
you know.
Right.
You never fucking know what these cops
Yeah.
are going to do.
Yeah, when I was driving back into Coralville from being out at the protest in Iowa City, I was also at first nervous because there's supposed to be a curfew at 9, and I'm coming back into town at like 1 a.m. But there haven't been any cops in my neighborhood enforcing this curfew.
Yeah, there was.
they're all on the other side of the town by the mall, because that's what the curfew is really about, is protecting the businesses over there.
Yeah, that
not
was
the people.
That was the same. I was literally like the cops were spraying, macing, beating people up. It was like 9:45. It was curfew was about to happen at 10. I just bolted. I'm like, there's no reason to be out here and just get beat up and arrested for no reason. So I'm riding home, and about 3 blocks away, there's people sitting on a patio just having a drink and shit, like it's no fucking problem. You know, I get closer to my house, and it's regular world going on. Those curfews didn't mean shit for anybody else except for the people downtown. It just meant that they were trying to arrest and tear gas protesters downtown, and that was the legal time they were allowed to start doing it. That was like their first police reform. Instead of beating us in the broad daylight, they would say, if you come out at night, you're going to get beat up.
Ugh, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
so when I got home...
Go ahead.
When I got home from the tear gas event, my wife had been sleeping for a couple hours already because she works pretty early. And I woke her up and I was like trying to tell her what went down, and I didn't realize like how much of a like psychological effect that was having on me, and I almost started hyperventilating, and I never really have reactions like that to things. It was more intense than I was prepared for. I could only get out like a couple words at a time for a while.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
Fucking scary.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of people that went to this was the first time they protested, and they got met with that. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that are going to be radicalized by that.
Yeah, that's definitely what happened here. There were like high school and college kids out there with us. Like, I'm one of the older people in the crowd, and I'm like 29, you know?
Right.
Yeah, well, take control out there, Justin. Be tough. You know, teach these kids how to protest. Keep it rolling. Is it winding down there, or you guys still going strong?
We took tonight off. I think the main people organizing the marches needed some rest, but we are planning on going back tomorrow at 6. So yeah. I think we're going to try to keep the pressure up, because every time we go out, like, something else makes the news and people are more aware of what's going on. So it's having a positive effect.
It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for calling, Justin. It was good to hear from you.
Yeah, nice to talk to you guys.
Peace.
Have a good night.
Good night.
All right. You ready?
Yep, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm sorry. I'm very hot right now.
We heard.
I'm
Do
sweating.
I need to get you a fan?
I need a fan. I need
Is there like a
little quiet fan,
Yeah,
like
we
a
need-
personal air conditioner for me?
Is there something? Yeah. Could you wear like a wet towel?
I don't know.
around
I
your
woke
neck?
up early today too, so I took magnesium before I came here. Maybe that's making me hot.
That
I
shit will
don't
make
know.
you hot.
Does it really?
I feel like sometimes.
I took some magnesium.
I don't fuck with
And now I
magnesium.
feel like, ugh. Yeah, but I've been waking up twitchy, and they say that'll help you
Okay.
with that. So I'm trying to like solve that problem, and I feel kind of yicky right now. That's what's
Okay.
going on with me right now.
Oh no, we had to jump in, so you're not going to be
Oh
happy
my
to
God.
hear that.
Never going home.
Hey, you got to work till midnight. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight? A skeleton? A skeleton crusader from the skeleton Black Lives Matter army.
No, it's Ben Sophie in Iowa, Kansas.
Hey, what's up? How's
What's
it going?
up? How's it going?
Hey, we called because we had a really great protest in the butt-ass middle of nowhere today, and we're pretty excited about it.
That's great. I'm
We
glad to hear.
spent the week. Yeah, we got people excited. Spent the week like freaking out about death threats coming in on social media and like getting fired from our jobs and evicted from houses and rentals and stuff, and then like had like a lot of intense like consensus building behind the scenes and a lot of the like work that makes shit actually successful and like not doing mistakes that we've made in the past, and it was awesome.
Yeah, that sounds
It was
amazing.
great. Yeah, another thing that happened was we did, like, because not everybody's super radical, we did work with the police department to make sure that, like, you know, people didn't come by and kill us, which is very cool.
Uh-huh.
And it was wild. Like, we were really on edge when the police showed up. And then they were, like, looking out, you know? Like, they weren't looking at us. They were, like, we saw their backs.
Who?
Which is the cops.
Oh, yeah.
Like-
No one cares. All right, next call. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
What happened?
He's talking about how great the cops were at his fucking protest.
Got him.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking tonight?
Hey, what's up? Is it me?
It is.
Oh, okay, awesome. First-time caller. My name is Aldo. I'm calling in from New York City, and I'm wondering if anyone has called in from New York. I kind of want to give my protesting experience. It was like my first time.
Nice. What?
By the way,
what
fuck
was
the
it
cop.
like? Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
absolutely.
So I decided to go with my girl and everything, and, you know, I was a little worried just because I was like, yo, if the cops start, like, you know, tear gassing or pulling some bullshit, I'm like, yo, I'm going to have to, like, find a way to, like, make sure, like, you know, me and my girl are safe and everything. But I wanted to go. I basically, you know, I got fired recently, so I'm a full-fledged street fighter. Let's go.
Yes.
What's up for getting fired?
Congratulations. It's all ruined from here. Don't follow in my footsteps.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna see if I can get like a gig job, something like part time. I'm gonna, you know, try to figure it out. But so, you know, I had my, like, you know, sign ready and shit. We go out and we're gonna get into the train station, and I shit you not, there's just like a shit ton of cops, and like my sign says fuck the police, and in the back has, like, you know, little anime pigs and like an oink oink, and I shit you not, my heart was just bumping just walking through them, because I'm like, I'm not white, so I'm like, okay, I can easily be a target.
Yeah.
But I just walked up finally just through that station, and they just had like little smirks and everything, and in the back of my head, I know you're tight. I know you're mad. Just hearing it, but you can't do anything. So that was like my first moment of just like, holy shit, all right, we're doing this shit, fuck it. So heading down to downtown by like, what's up, man?
Getting loud and proud. Like to just look at him in the face and say, this is actually what I think of you as a person, you know?
Yo, and also as an ex-drug dealer, now that I can say it, because I don't have anything in my pockets, I was just like, yes, you can't, like, in your fucking face, bro, like, fuck you, like, bro, like, just so empowering. But yeah, getting downtown and everything, we're like trying to find protests, and like we're literally just like, because I didn't bring my phone, because I have some radical shit on my phone, and I just definitely, in case of anything, I don't want that shit to fall through. So I was just like, okay, I'm not bringing my phone. So we're just gonna like walk around and see what the fuck is up. And it was just like by NYU, it's a lot of rich people, so it's like it just looked like very chill, like a very chill Sunday. And I'm just like, holy shit. And I was like, hun, I think we kind of missed the protest. And she was like, you think so? I'm like, dude, I don't see nobody. I don't hear noise or anything. So we started walking around. We started looking a couple avenues. And then, like, she was like, wait, hold up. I'm hearing something, like across the street. We crossed the street. And then, Brett, I thought of you, boy. The bike cavalry just came through. And I'm like, there it is. That's a fucking protest. There it fucking is. I held my fucking sign up all loud and proud, and then that's when we started joining and walking in. And some dude gave me a mic, and I just started yelling out the most radical fucking shit. I think it was a little radical for that crowd because, you know, still a little lit, but, sure. I had to join. I try not to cause too much shit, I kind of wonder, like, what was your guys' thoughts about that? Like, how do you deal with that shit? Because a lot of times, like, the speakers, they would just tell me, like, yo, pull out your phone and follow this, and that. And there was always, like, people who were, like, running and shit. And I felt, like, just weird about it. I was like, well, what? Like,
pull out your phone and text Jesus to 43244. I had that one the other day, whatever the number was. Text Jesus, and it was like, okay. I mean, we can do some Christian stuff now. I guess.
Yo, that ass. Fucking like, oh, this for Congress, this. So why don't you have your phone out? And I'm just like, I thought we were supposed to bring phones, but all right, like, I'm still not gonna vote for you fuckers because they kept telling us like you got to do it at the ballot, and I'm just like, bro, we did dark faces in high places already, bro. Like Obama was there, and we still like we're here, my nigga. Like, what are we gonna do, son? Like for real, like. We tried this already. Like, the people in Minneapolis, they did it because they showed we're mad. And I'm not going to front. When we were in Washington Square Park, I started yelling, fuck your picnic, because there were a bunch of yuppies just chilling there like, it's a chill day. Yeah, black people getting killed, but I'm going to enjoy this dope-ass boss water and enjoy my beautiful day where I have a $1 million condo. And, I went in there, and guess what? The crowd actually joined in when I said, yo, fuck the picnic. Because for real, bro, fuck the picnic. We're not going to give you the peace, man. We're not going to do that. Like, no, Bye-bye.
That's great.
I wanted to make people uncomfortable. I wanted at least that.
Everybody we passed, we made uncomfortable as well. It was definitely a big spirit of the protest was like, you can't just stand on the side of the road and like put a fist up and like soak up our energy. Like we are actually trying to get all of us together right now to solve a problem. You need to fucking show up here with us.
Yo, word. I think someone started yelling out that too. I think white silence is still like violence. I think that was the phrase. Like they said that a lot too. So I'm like, yo, like for real, for white allies, thank you. For all my street fighters, what's up? Especially for the ones that got tear gas, especially our hosts. I want to thank you guys. Y'all the real first responders. And, also everyone else. Yo, not for real, bro, for real. And Brian, you're also the man, bro. I remember I went to one of you guys' shows in New York. I think I was the only one smoking a blunt outside. And I spoke with Brian a little bit. I shit you not, Brian. I was so fucking nervous talking to you because I'm like, I'm talking to a white guy right now, and I'm not going to get searched. This is a little weird.
Us white guys can get you in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I'm going to call the fucking police. Somebody handed me was it the night somebody handed me a shiv? I'm like, here, have this shiv. That's yours. It's my gift to you.
All right, bro. I don't know how I would take that, honestly. Even myself, I'd be like...
a bunch of people freaked out and took it away from me and threw it in the trash. No fun.
That's so not safe, right? That's not safe, right? I wouldn't like throw it away. I would just be a little thrown back. Like, who's going to jail, bro? Like, we're just chilling. Like,
yeah.
But so... No, what's up?
I got nothing. You're good.
Oh, but yeah, so like, that's how it started, and I'm not gonna front. it started getting a little bit radical towards the end. Because then, like, this one chick, she got up and she was like, yo, fuck the neo-liberalist, capitalist, like, imperialist. Like, she just started going on her little rant. I'm like, that was for me. I was like, that one was for me, bro. That one, I felt that one. I heard a couple like, yo, fuck Amazon. I heard a couple like, yo, fuck the banks. I'm like, yo, maybe this could be something like where, you know, it can grow a little bit. Like, we can just, you know, expand. Like, yo, you know, racism kind of comes from capitalism, bro. Like, you know, there's a little connection there. Like, you can't have one or the other. Come on.
Yeah.
You're going to see it. You're going to see it. So...
you know what, to be honest myself, I would say that I definitely have given up on a lot of long-term organizing, considering I've been in those protests where you're like 200 people and everybody just looks at you like you're just an asshole that's annoying people. But what I saw in the streets of Columbus, you know, that Friday night protest was completely radical and was completely wild and chaotic, but it was like, it was the people finding themselves and finding their voice and coming alive. And like, it let me know that like those people are ready to ride with us however we can make this bigger the next time and bigger until the point where we can just crush them. There is a huge population of people that are ready to do the work for sure. Because that's what I said is like, you know, you got these people hanging out all goddamn day. They would rebuild their own neighborhoods if we gave them the money and the jobs. And like, people would sign up to do any work to rebuild these forgotten neighborhoods and shit. Like, there's no reason that these people I hear that you're complaining about, they're a destructive force, but you could also use them to be constructive as well. And we've discarded you know, young black folks and young poor people in general. It's just, there's not anything ahead. There's no horizon, and things are getting worse. And this virus really let everybody know where we're at. This virus let everyone know how the government feels about us, what they're willing to do to protect us from health problems. And then George Floyd, the death of George Floyd is kicked it off where it's like they are just going to beat us if we protest too, you know? So everything is getting laid out right now, and I don't know where we go from here. I don't think it's not going away. But it's
I'm wondering
so much potential.
When they saying don't vote. I'm like, bro, you took out my man Bernie. Like, who am I vote for? Like, who you talking to about like voting? Like, that was another thing they kept talking about. Like, you know, we're gonna vote. So, and shout out to that guy from California. He hit the nail. Boom. Like, who the fuck am I gonna vote for? Like, y'all killed Bernie. My compromise. Like, he was still a little early, but, like, that was the compromise.
Yeah.
Man, like, that killed him. So, well, now I felt weird when they said, yo, vote, because I'm just like, I'm not voting. I looked at my girlfriend. I told her, like, you know I'm not voting. Like, you know, she's a little lit, but I was like, I looked at her, and she was like, she was like a little, like, giving me a little disappointed look and shit. And I'm just like, you know, I was like, we had this discussion already. Like, you know I'm not voting for this shit. Y'all killed my man.
Yeah.
Y'all did it. Y'all got this. Y'all sold it. Y'all got it. Like, I'm chilling. I told you that day.
Absolutely.
You go vote, whatever. But, you know, they messed up my man. But, yo, I'm going to give more, spots to other callers. Thank you guys so much. I can't wait for you guys to come to New York. I would love to just hang out with you and actually not be nervous and actually chill with you guys and everything. So, yo, take it easy. Have a good night, guys.
We can't wait to go back to New York, too.
Yeah, we want to be there. Peace. And definitely hit me up on social and all that stuff. I'll send you a shirt.
Yeah, actually, anything. Brett, you were the one that I asked about the North Face skaters, because when you told me that, like, where I'm from, let me tell you right now, when I was growing up, when you were wearing North Face, you was not a fucking skater, you feel me? I thought it was, like, niggas that wore, like, Vans and shit. Like, I was like, okay, those are skaters, guys, and you know, I didn't get that part. I was like,
skaters should have clothes on that have holes in them because they've been falling on their ass all day long. They shouldn't be around in like brand new fucking pressed clothes. Like, there's no reason to be wearing a $60 North Face hoodie to go skate because they're not skating. They're just walking around. They got a $200 board, the nicest one in the shop. It's an accessory. Everybody comes around and they're like, oh yeah, I skate, you know, and they know all the brands, but they're fucking fakes. It's happening in America. It's disgusting.
I mean, that's what he says. Like, capitalism just literally just hollows out all fucking culture at the end of the day. Like, you know, funny, my girl was just telling me how, like, YouTube is bullshit now because, like, you fake a relationship for YouTube now. I was like, what? You can do that? I'm like, yep, YouTubers do that. I'm like, that's it. It's done. Like, YouTube is just Hollywood now. Like, it's come, like, this is, I'm like, I told her, like, yeah, this is what money does. Like, it corrupts. Like, it just, like, that's it. None of this is real. But, yeah, thanks so much, guys, for giving me this spot. Yo, take it easy. Have a good night.
Peace.
And I'm just going to keep listening, yo. So, take it easy. Peace.
Love it. Have a good one. All right. That was a spirited call.
Yeah, that was great.
All right. We got one more to go.
Let's do it.
I have to pitch you on the one behind that.
Oh, no.
I think it's Cop Dropper.
Oh, I don't want to get yelled at.
Oh, I'm not going to get yelled at on my own damn show.
When you hung up on the guy, and now I got to call back, and now I got to deal with the uncomfortableness of that now.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
This is Rusty Hazard from Phoenix.
How's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Long time listener to y'all. I tell you what, I live a very insular life, and just listen to y'all from like the 2018 shows early on to present day. Just really helps me stay on task and everything. I appreciate so much what you do. Otherwise, from like the general zeitgeist, what's going on right now, you know, there is a ceiling effect of all this stuff, and it's kind of disheartening, you know, just seeing like prior callers have said, just go out and vote, yada yada yada, blah blah blah, and it's like, get to the fucking root of the problem, man. It's capitalism, baby. It's capitalism. Stop fucking talking about that and whatever. But you know, it's not my thing. I'm just here to support and whatever. Can I talk about a work thing, or is it just mostly what's going on in the streets right now?
No, go ahead.
Work's
Go
fine.
ahead. You can talk about work.
So I'm a young dude, but I'm a home health physical therapist out here. So I go out to like the west side of the Phoenix Valley is like mostly boomers, old ass Republicans, conservatives, you know, this and that. I'm fucking, you know, massaging the feet of the wife of one of like Sheriff Joe Arpaio's fucking boys, and they just like they use me as a sounding board, and they're like, you know, Rusty, what do you think about these snowflake college students? This and that, I'm rubbing their feet. I'm like, oh, absolutely, whatever you say, blah blah blah. It's just fucking, how the fuck do you stay professional and all that? But I digress. One of the most annoying like professions I could think of is like the overly enthusiastic guardsmen of like these retirement communities where they have a guardhouse and they see young brown me coming up, rolling through, you know, this and that, and like they're just overly questioning, like, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. What are you seeing here for? Just like overinflated sense of authority and shit. And it's just like, bro, you don't do nothing. You don't do fucking nothing or whatever. But you know, like everyone said, man, these fucking bullies that are in uniform, they're not used to days like this. They're used to just screwing around, fucking around, all this other things. Everybody just keep it up. Just keep it up. Keep the spirits up. You know, wear them thin. Make them fucking sweat for once in their lives. Just feel so blessed to talk to y'all. And thank you so much.
Hey, thank you for calling. Have a good night.
That was beautiful. Oh my goodness. That really was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. Brett, you can go ahead and talk and deal with that.
That was
call.
the best way to end the show. I want you to keep up the fight in the streets. You know, for people like the last caller, like he said, those people are fucking bullies. You know, and when I was a skater as a teen, they fucking bullied me too, and they wanted to try to pin shit on me, and they wanted, you know, I know the experience, but those fuckers should be in a compromised position. It's time for them to pay for what they've done, and they shouldn't be comfortable. It's absolutely outrageous. Please keep up the good fight. Thank you to everybody that called in tonight. We really appreciate it. We're Street Fight Radio. You can find us on all the major platforms, or you can go to Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can watch it if you want. You can also subscribe. Find us on social media.
The show has ended. Goodbye.
Oh, that's a good way to end it. Peace, everybody.
Man.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got one.
Oh.
I got one. I
I'll
forgot
do
to
the turn off.
Okay, I forgot to mention podcast that's been killing it. You gotta listen to Hella Black Pod. Blake Don't Crack on Twitter is one of the fucking best, and then Delancey is the other one. So you follow them both, Hella Black Pod. Listen to the show. They have a lot of wonderful information. Somebody in the chat reminded me that they were the ones that said, if you get arrested, all you're doing is funding the bail system. You know, like there's a strategic time to be arrested, and just doing wanton destruction in the streets is not worth it. You know, or breaking curfew violations. We are Street Fight Radio. We're finally done this time. I'll see you on Wednesday. Peace.